and Alex Gravatt.
Excitement has slowly been turning into confusion here as the Green Bay Packers have made their first few picks in the NFL draft, the first 3 picks in their NFL draft. I'm Alex Gravatt alongside Pablo Iglesias. We're catching you up on all things green and gold in the Green Bay draft, and it is 45 degrees out. You can see the smoke and steam billowing out of the pipes on the rooftop, so it is exactly what you'd expect from Green Bay, Wisconsin. We are in the shadow of Lambeau Field. Pablo, you've been boots on the ground all weekend, and I'd love to hear from you.
Yeah, this is amazing right now. Also what we're seeing here at the Tundra Trio backyard is people are taking photos of our tailgates set up and everything. I had to smile, I had to wave. People are taking pictures here, and that's what it's been the last few days. Is that everybody is just so excited. You can tell that I'm already losing my voice at how exciting things have been over the last few days. And I've covered a lot of games here at Green Bay. I've covered a lot of Packers games, but this is nowhere near what the game day experience is like. Just seeing how not only Packer fans are excited, but seeing my Bear faithful as well from Chicago. Everybody's traveled up here. Buccaneers fans, everybody across the league celebrating one of the coolest moments and the coolest stages in the National Football League. So there's not one word to really describe this, but just elation, celebration, all of those things. Last night too, a really, really cool drone show that I was just floored.
Yeah, tell me more about that, because I left after the Packers made their most recent pick. I wanted to go spend some time. My family lives up in Green Bay, and so this was the largest drone show in Wisconsin history. Is that right?
I would not be surprised if that was the case. Honestly, It was amazing. So we were hanging out here after here at the Tundra Trio here just outside of Lambeau Field. A few of our teammates, just hanging out, just relaxing after a very, very long day. Great day. But all of a sudden we saw fireworks. Everybody loves fireworks, so we run out to the backyard, and before we knew it, we just saw all of these lights starting to move around. And then it turned out to be a drone show, which was highlighting, first off, from what we saw, the first-round picks, a lot of monumental ones over the years, and then Jordan Love was the final one. And the cool thing of where we are positioned at in the Tundra Trio, we can't exactly see the crowd. We can see the part of the top of the stage that you're seeing on the national broadcast, but it's still cool to just hear that roar from afar and to hear the bass line just carry over from the Go Pack Go. That's, like, cool to just see, or hear, rather, the reactions of people seeing that drone show and everything lighting up. You got to see this depiction of Lambeau. You got to see the Lombardi Trophy. You got to see all these moving pictures, the bikes that the players ride going into practice or training camp.
I had a Packer. I had the kicker. I believe he got cut that year, but I had a kicker ride my bike from Lambeau over to the Don Hudson Center when I was a kid. I mean, it is such a community feel here. We are in just a couple of houses. We call it the Tundra Trio. It's now the Tundra Duo. We're in a couple of houses literally backed up against Lambeau Field. And so when you say from afar, you can hear the excitement and you can hear the roar of the crowd. When I left the actual draft last night after watching the Packers draft their brand new tackle, it took me less than 5 minutes to get here. We are right up against it, so we see people are already filing in. It's 9 o'clock in the morning. The draft doesn't even start for another 2 hours, and they are coming in droves. And the thing that's really cool about this, you mentioned, yes, there are the Bear faithful. There are folks who are Tampa Bay fans. I was talking to a Carolina Panther fan all night last night.
I'm glad they exist. It's really good.
It's bleak for them.
It's been pretty tough since that Super Bowl run with Cam Newton. It's been bleak for sure.
One of the worst trades in NFL history, which is officially complete now as your Bears have made the final pick that they got from Carolina. But what blows me away is just how much of a homer crowd this is. I mean, it is Wisconsin faithful, true and true. It's green and gold from left to right, top down, over, out, everything. After the Packers made their selection in the second round yesterday, I mean, the crowd, I don't want to say it emptied out. I think most people went to the bathroom. They went to go get new beers, but you could see from the overhead coverage, you could definitely feel it from being in the crowd. It emptied out. I mean, it is so many Packer fans, and they're there for the Packers first, which means, yes, it's cool. And I was waiting because I was hoping to be there as Shedeur Sanders got drafted, which he's still on the board somehow in day 3, someone who was projected to go top 5 potentially. But But this is a hometown crowd in a really cool way, and I think that it kind of goes to show just how hard it is to get in here if you're not a Green Bay Packer fan. It's the same reason there's a 75-plus year waiting list to get season tickets or whatever that number is. 844-770-3776. That's the Carbless Talking text line. Or no, today it is 800-990-3776. That we are running out of Milwaukee with Will Summers keeping us sounding good from the one call. That's all.
ESPN Wisconsin
yeah,
today.
we are everywhere. You can catch us. We want to hear from you. If you were at the draft, tell us what made it special. Tell us what was cool or maybe what you didn't like so much. But you mentioned earlier, Pablo, that we could hear the excitement. You can catch all of the energy from Lambeau Field right here at the Tundra Trio. And you said it was really special, specifically yesterday, or specifically Thursday, as the Packers draft a wide receiver, Matthew Golden, out of Texas. First time since 2002, which, by the way, Matthew Golden was not alive for that. He was born in 2003. So this is a big deal, and you said it was a huge moment for you personally, just even as a Bears fan.
Yeah, and what stood out to me, what's so cool about the setup that we have here is that throughout the night, one, we had live shows going on across ESPN Wisconsin, but then also for our partners and everybody attending here, too, we had kind of live stage reaction. We had the ESPN broadcast going from TV. We had Mark Tauscher, Brian Balaga, Jen Latta on the stage, all reacting in real time. I was following Jen as soon as that pick was announced, and she was just jumping for joy because, well, I also believe, too, that she did come away with a really, really nice payday from the Potawatomi. I believe it was plus 700. The Packers could that she said the Packers would take a wide receiver in the first round. So I'm sure there was a little bit of some investment on that one too. So congrats to Jen, our teammate, on the victory there. But again, you could just feel it here that everybody was excited that Matthew Golden was the first round pick, and hearing again the roars from afar. You could hear the pause when Mark Murphy made the announcement for the first time since 2002. Pause.
You know what? We have that audio. Will Summers back in the ESPN Milwaukee One Call That's All studios. He's going to play that for us right now. This is Mark Murphy making the first overall pick for the Green Bay Packers.
With the 23rd pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the 13-time world champion Green Bay Packers, for the first time since 2002, draft a wide receiver, Matthew Golden, wide receiver, Texas.
I mean, it gets me fired up. That was Mark Murphy making the Packers' first pick. Matthew Golden, who was not alive the last time the Packers drafted a wide receiver in the first. And, I mean, he nailed it, right?
It's perfect. Yeah, I grew up a theater kid. Let me put it. I grew up a theater kid. I'm all about performance. I'm all about the show. And you know what? It is what it is. Being the Chicago faithful, I still love the rocking the orange and blue. But at the same point, man, I'm walking around with one of our teammates, John, as well. Our PDS guy, just walking around the Lambeau Field area too, and just saying that, as you know, this is a place where my rivals play all the time. But at the same point, he's a Cleveland Browns fan, and we're both like, you know what? We love the game, though. We love getting to be a part of this atmosphere, and that's what it's all about. Is putting on a show. Is getting to be a part of that experience and feeling the chills, feeling everything here, even if it's a little chilly today. Like, this is all part of the experience. And like I said, going back to the theater kid side, it's like that's the show that you got to put on. You got to feed into the crowd. You got to give the people what they want. And not only was it a good show, but it was a good pick, too.
And so
that was the pick that the people wanted.
It's a pick the people wanted, and it happened perfectly, right? Mel Kiper had him as a top 16 draft prospect coming into this one. And for Mark Murphy to get the chance in front of the home crowd, and I mean, just he spent maybe a little too long pandering to the fact that it's a community-owned team, that this is the home of football, that everyone's so excited. Yes, it took forever. I'm sitting on the couch because I had to be at home Thursday and Friday, and then I came up right after that. But I'm listening to him get all hyped up. I'm like, I know, I get it. I understand that I'm an owner and that everyone in the crowd is owners. But just tell me who we're gonna get. And then he says for the first time, and I shoot my hands up. I'm like, no way, they took Matthew Golden. And my girlfriend Elfie's sitting next to me. She's like, what? What's going on? Why is this such a big deal? And I'm like, you don't understand. We have needed this for so long. And Jordan Love, I mean, listen. the onus is now on him. They said with this pick, I mean, partially right, it's the best player available at that point. 23 is where the Packers picked. He's arguably a top 15 prospect, and they said, we're going to get you your guy. We're going to go out and find the right person. We're going to put together the right team for you to succeed, and we're going to kind of say no more excuses. And so that's something I want to get into a little bit later. Who has more pressure on him? Jordan Love, Matthew Golden. Does this put more pressure on the defense? But for now, let's just enjoy the fact that the Packers have drafted 2 wide receivers and a tackle, so they are going all in on offense. This is going to be a high-flying, impactful draft early on, I think.
And the other side of this, too, is that we don't know the next time the draft is going to be in Green Bay, too. Like, again, you pander to the crowd. You got to do that exact type of thing. You have the drone show, all of that's dedicated to being a part of the Lambeau Field experience. And I got to tip my cap off to the Green Bay Packers and the NFL for working so well together, because I had no idea how the stage was going to be set up. I thought, was it going to be downtown? Was it just going to be all in the Resch Center? But it's so cool to see that tunnel where everybody was able to get to walk out to the stage and get to be a part of, like, it's a parking lot. That's where they are. They're in the parking lot of the stadium, and yet this feels like so grand and so majestic. I got to give it to them. People just walking through the stadium, again, walking with a few of our teammates who haven't been to Lambeau Field yet. I've gotten to experience this through, again, covering the Packers for a little bit, but watching people just walk into Lambeau for the first time, just starry-eyed, feeling like they're seeing the Cinderella Castle at Disney World for the first time in their life. Like, it's one of those spectacles where it's like, wow, like, you're here. You get to see where a lot of history has happened. It is very much a one-of-a-kind thing. So I really hope a lot of people, not just Green Bay Packer fans, but football fans too, that have made the trek out here, are really appreciating what we have in front of us. Because, I mean, I've appreciated that we're here in this moment too, getting to do a show live outside of Lambeau, outside of the NFL draft, here in Green Bay, Wisconsin.
It's a big deal for us. It's a big deal for the fans walking in. My goodness, someone is wearing shorts. It is 46 degrees out now.
No.
I respect you. I have a hand warmer in my hand as we are going to be sitting here outside. Again, we can see the big G, that iconic G on Lambeau Field.
Just for you.
Oh, yeah, it's just for me. My name's Alex Gravatt. That's Pablo Iglesias. I go by G. And yeah, if you are in town, if you have been to the draft, if this was your Cinderella's castle, call in 800-990-3776. We want to hear what makes everything so exciting for you, as this has been just excellent. I know the Uber driver who I had last night going home was telling me he doesn't think it'll ever come back, and we really just need to soak it up for this moment. But it is just in this moment so special, and it's made more special by the impact of drafting a wide receiver in the first round. It's Mark Murphy's swan song for the draft, right? There's just so much excitement and energy, and the crowd is still funneling in. It is a beautiful time for Green Bay Packers football, and just something that's so exciting as we get ready for Day 3 of the NFL draft, right? Rounds 4 through 7 are still to come, Pablo.
Oh, man, it's that blustery wind is coming in, and it's an exciting one. But like you said, it sets the tone. I'm excited to talk a little bit more about the picks, and curious to know, though, what the Packers are going to do down the road. I mean, this is going to be a big day for them for sure. All
right, so we're going to jump into the picks the Packers have already made and what clues that might give us as to what's coming next. This is ESPN Wisconsin Draft Day across ESPN Wisconsin.
More coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin Draft Week, presented by American Family Insurance. The 2015 Wisconsin men's hoops team gave us all a march to remember.
There will be no undefeated champion on Wisconsin with an unbelievable stretch drive to the championship game.
On June 26th, enjoy an intimate celebration with the stars of the run with Made 'em Believe. Presented by M3 Insurance. World-class expertise and individual attention. Tickets are on sale now at uwhoops2015.com. Made 'em Believe, June 26th at the Orpheum Theater in Madison.
Escape the city and relax at Lake Lawn Resort in beautiful Delavan, Wisconsin. Enjoy outdoor activities on Delavan Lake. Tee off at the lakeside Majestic Oaks Golf Course or unwind at the award-winning Calidora Spa. With both indoor and outdoor pools, there's fun for the whole family. Take a cruise on the Lake Lawn Queen. Explore stunning shores and historic landmarks. And enjoy delicious food and drinks on board. Book your stay today at lakelawnresort.com, where everything is better at the lake.
Finding money in your house can be a lot easier than you think. Great Midwest Bank, there's no more couch diving for loose change. Jen Gabe and Chewy's Jen Latta here. GMB has a simple approach to turning your home's value into cash. All it takes is a locally serviced home equity loan or line of credit. They take the time getting to know each customer, making for an easy way to pay for whatever it is you want or need. New appliances, a big repair, a boat, or a pool. It's just a few clicks away with GMB. Great Midwest Bank. Experience your state of tranquility.
Turn your driveway into the basketball court of your dreams with Precision Sports, Southeastern Wisconsin's dealer for Mega Slam, Ironclad, and Dominator hoop systems. From installation to customizable painted court lines, Precision Sports is a slam dunk. PrecisionSportsOnline.com.
No shortcuts, no compromises, just the job done right. At Exterior Pros, we don't just meet expectations, we crush them. Every nail, every window, every shingle is a step toward your home's next chapter. From the moment we start until that final reveal, we're committed to making your home better than ever. Quality products and craftsmanship you can count on. Go to the pros for your next project. Get started today and save $2,000. Visit extpros.com or call 262-800-4274. That's 262-800-4274.
Slide into your neighborhood Century Food Store to score the freshest produce, tastiest treats, and everything in between. Now through Wednesday, save on 2-liter bottle selected varieties Super Chill Soda, 2 for $3. 4-count double roll selected varieties Bounty Towels, $7.99. 6-pack 0.5-liter bottle selected varieties Splash Blast Water, 2 for $6. 40 to 48-ounce selected varieties Starbucks Iced Coffee, $5.49.
Let's get some strawberries.
Attention shoppers. Safe.
Okay. Ooh, pineapple fulfills every need.
While you're shopping, a drive way back, it's a gunner.
There's something goofy going on with the PA.
Need a price check and I'll take me out to the ball game.
See, what is going on?
You're hearing things. We're at Century Foods, and you can't take your mind off winning that ultimate baseball fan sweepstakes.
I'm hoping to throw out the first pitch at a Milwaukee baseball game.
Or attend batting practice.
Or hold the finish line ribbon for the racing sausages.
You don't say.
The ultimate baseball fan sweepstakes at Century Foods. Enter on Century's Facebook or Instagram by July 30th.
They say seeing is believing. And when you check out what's waiting for you at American Place Casino, you'll definitely believe you'll love it. From thrilling gaming to top-notch service, we're changing the game. Come play all your favorites like blackjack, craps, roulette, and the latest slots. Catch a game at the sportsbook, enjoy great restaurants, bars, and more. If you're ready for excitement, exceptional service, and an experience you'll never forget, then we'll see you soon. American Place Casino. Change the game. Must be 21 years of age or older. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, crisis counseling and referral services can be accessed by calling 1-800-GAMBLER.
Your state, your teams, your ESPN. The ESPN Wisconsin app. Customizable just for you. Find the ESPN Wisconsin app in the Apple or Android app stores today. You're listening to ESPN Wisconsin Draft Week, presented by American Family Insurance on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
It's time, baby. Hey, I'm finna bring that energy, man. I'm glad to be here. It's a blessing. Green Bay on 3. Hey, let me get a Green Bay on 3. 1, 2, 3.
That's iconic. How many people steal the mic? Even just like your draft day alone is just so hyped up. But the fact that he stole the mic as soon as he steps on the stage.
That is
it's electric.
Matthew Golden, the newest Green Bay Packer. It's not the newest, but our newest first-round pick. Wide receiver out of Texas. He took over the stage. He took over the world a little bit when he got drafted 23rd to the Green Bay Packers. This is ESPN Wisconsin Draft Day. I'm Alex Gravatt alongside Pablo Iglesias.
Yes, sir.
Wally Lukaczynski, who will be rocking with you later today, just showed up wearing an Edmund Fitzgerald pin.
He's got a suit. I think he's ready to go. He's definitely going to – either he's announcing a pick or he is going to get picked today. You could always act as our agent, Wally. You'll hear from him 12 to 2 with Corey Sparks, the damn sports show, taking over ESPN Wisconsin as well today. But I don't know. He might not even be on the show. It sounds like he might get his name called.
Yeah, no, that's – I mean – hey, if he can take over, if he's got that kind of charisma on stage, and it's not that far of a walk. Honestly, watching these draft picks walk from the green room to the stage for their first round picks, I think we could make it in that time. It might take some high knees, but we are just as close as they are.
Oh, I'm ready.
One of my biggest critiques of the draft to this point, how on earth are you going to send a Matthew Golden out there in a Green Bay Packers hat? We are sitting right next to a spire of cheeseheads. How do you not give him a cheesehead to wear out onto the stage? Would that not be the most exciting, hyped-up moment of the draft?
Yeah, put the jersey aside. As cool as it is to have the last name and the number 1 jersey, like, again, it is that – I don't want to call it a swing and a miss, but, hey, it is what it is. I mean – you had to have had the cheeseheads ready to go. How do you not, like, I mean, I'm sure you could have printed his name on the back of the cheesehead, like, right then and there. That would have been insane. Even if somebody, it's like, think about like a rock concert too, when you're just throwing out stuff on the stage. I'm sure one fan would have been very happy to throw their cheesehead out onto the stage and be like, wow, Matthew Golden has my cheesehead now, and that's going to be forever part of history. But you know what, it is what it is. But yeah, I feel like the Packers should have been ready to go with that.
So the Green Bay Packers have made 3 picks, the 23rd overall, the 54th overall, and the 87th overall. They got Matthew Golden, the speed demon out of Texas. He's a refined route runner. He's exciting. He's got the flash. His name is Golden, so this is green and gold for the Golden guy. And then you've got he showed up for some big names, right, or big games.
But how many times? All right, when the real question for me though is I got to be a little bit of a stickler here. When are we going to call it on the green and golden punts? How much of a timeline do we have? Because I'm just constantly seeing green and golden puns left and right. When do we call it a day on green and golden puns? I just want to ask that right now. I want to, for anyone listening out there too, feel free to on the Carbless Talk and text line too. Let us know if you feel like that there's a time where we should call it with the green and golden puns. Not saying I'm sick of it, but I just don't want it to run its course.
If you
fast.
As a Bears fan made a first overall pick, and I know for the longest time it's been, the need of a quarterback. You've never had a real quarterback. Let's say Caleb Williams.
Still trying to figure that out.
Let's say, Caleb Williams I think is the answer. He's pretty good. But let's say Caleb Williams' last name was Down. Would you not be making bear down jokes incessantly?
I don't know if I would.
Really?
I feel like I've got to – I'm not calling green and golden low-hanging fruit.
It is, but sometimes that's the best fruit. I don't know. Like, have you gone apple picking? I go apple picking every fall. It's something I love to do. You go, you get your fresh bag of apples, you have a couple fresh ones, and then you go and you make a pie or whatever it is. It's so much easier to just grab the apple in front. Like, I'm 6'5". I can jump up and grab some of the high ones, but it's not any better or any more worth it than the apple right in front of your eye.
I don't know. Even if there's the layup right there, I'm just gonna step back and take the 3 at this point.
Okay.
The game has changed, and I'm gonna let it fly. Alex
Strofe, who you've heard nonstop on these airwaves all weekend long, he is a big puns guy, and he's been making the joke all week, and I'm going to continue to make it. They're going to continue to deep into the season.
Yes.
They're going to continue to do it for years to come, I think, as
Let's
Matthew
just get creative
Golden
with it.
Is
How about
the
that?
Green Bay Packers Golden Boy. He is the new look green and golden. He's fast, blazing fast, which is fantastic. He had the fastest 40 at the combine of any of the wide receivers, and I think that he's going to be an impact player. But here's the thing. I'm not the only one who thinks that this is going to be an immediate impact. One of the all-time greats for college football had this to say as Nick Saban believes the Packers have got their guy.
I think Matthew Golden going to the Green Bay Packers with Jordan Love needing a receiver, needing a weapon, and the Packers being a good team that made the playoffs, that has a chance to go far in the playoffs in a tough division. I think that was probably the most impactful pick for that team in their position to take the next step.
So the Green Bay Packers have got their impact guy. That was Nick Saban on ESPN's coverage of the draft after the draft, which you can still hear the excitement from the fans. That was after pick 32. The Chiefs and Eagles make their swap, and they're getting out of there, and the fans are still go Pack going because it is just a raucous environment here. People are so excited. I'm excited to see all of the families coming in right now, but the Packers getting maybe the best pick for their draft position day one. What do you think, Pablo?
You know, outside of the whole pomp and circumstance and everything of the presentation, I do think that this has been a long time coming. It's because there was that conversation last year, really coming into this offseason more so of, are the Packers equipped in that wide receiver room? You know, what's it going to look like? When I was watching Jen Latta's reaction, our ESPN teammate over here, just super excited that the Packers, one, finally went with the wide receiver in the first round, and two, it ended up being Matthew Golden. She put it out straightforward, saying that in order to get Jordan Love into that top 5 conversation, in order for him to be at the best of his best, you have to put bona fide weapons around him, and she said right there that this is the bona fide weapon. Brian Balaga also jumping in on that reaction show too on Thursday here at the Tundra Trio. You know, he said he did say, I don't watch, I can't be an expert on Texas football. I haven't seen the film left and right, but looking at his numbers, he's like, this is a fast guy. This is going to be a slippery guy. This is going to be somebody that fills in. Another thing too, this fills the slot that Christian Watson can't be a part of because he's out until November. So what type of role is Matthew Golden going to fill now? Because is the pressure on? Is he going to what does that do now for Christian Watson? Is the pressure on for him too?
Well,
that's another question to think about.
I mean, absolutely. And Christian Watson, I think, has time to come back from his injury. He is somebody that Matt LaFleur has always believed in, has spoken so highly of. So obviously he's not the one making all the personnel decisions. That's Brian Gutekunst. That's Mark Murphy. That's the front office. But you're going to listen to your head coach, and your head coach believes in this guy in a very impactful way, being Christian Watson. Christian Watson tore his ACL. He's coming back. He's not going to be back until November. What is he going to look like after that? I hate this for him. It means that he had the chance to become the wide receiver one. It hadn't ever really come to fruition, but he's got a lot of time to come back now, and this buys him more of a runway. I do think this means that his second contract is not going to be one of those gaudy numbers. It's not going to be anything out of this world, and he probably will test free agency to see if his 4.34 speed, not 4.29, you know, that 0.05 seconds makes a big enough difference, to see if that'll get him money somewhere else. But I ultimately do expect him to come back for a team-friendly deal, a couple of years, and, you know, he may never be a wide receiver one like he's archetyped to be. But with Matthew Golden coming in, the guy who has been just fantastic. I mean, he didn't have 1,000 yards in college, which is kind of sad. But it is something that he's done very well in college, right? He had multiple games where he averaged 20-plus yards per game or per reception. He averaged 17 his entire career. What they love about the guy is he's just a hair under 6 foot, maybe 6 foot, depending on where you're looking. And he can play inside. He can play outside. He's a refined route runner, and he is just an athlete. But a lot of the things that he brings to the table translate really well to the NFL, right? That is speed, and that is good route running. So, you know, what does this mean for the rest of the receiver core when oftentimes the Packers only run 2 or 3 receivers? It means it's time to step up or get out of there. And I want to talk about that next, but I want to remind everyone the Packers made 2 other draft picks yesterday, and that is Anthony Belton, the 6'6", 336-pound tackle from NC State, an absolute mountain of a man who, you know, maybe the Packers didn't need an offensive lineman, but they believe in this guy. He's another guy who's versatile, could play tackle or guard, they believe, and that's what Brian Gutekunst said in his presser last night. And then they went around and got another wide receiver, Savion Williams, who almost no one's talking about. He's a TCU guy, and he fills that Cordell Patterson, Ty Montgomery, if you remember from the Packers, and as a Bears fan, Pablo,
yeah.
I'm sure you remember, as he always had his best games against the Bears.
I remember Ty Montgomery. But when you mentioned Cordell Patterson, a Swiss Army knife too, he was a Chicago Bear, and that's always like, you know, what you want as a receiver. I mean, especially in today's game too, where it's it's even though you're like this position of a running back or a wide receiver, sometimes we've seen it with Jaden Reed. We've seen him on the jet sweep. We've seen that how Matt LaFleur tries to get crafty with his offense. Just because you're named one position doesn't mean that you are only a pass catcher and a pass catcher only. Like you have to be versatile. So I want to see exactly what Savion Williams will do for this Packer. What shocked me the most though is that 2 out of the first 3 picks are receivers.
Yeah. That is,
and usually it's the other way around. Today's the day where the Packers, at least from what I've seen in the past, that's where they get multiple receivers.
Yeah, I mean, it is a different look, and I think what I've realized is the key for this draft is versatility, right? They have an absolute speed demon who can play any spot on the wide receiver core in Matthew Golden. They have a mountain of a man who's going to be impossible to move at tackle. Now, there's a little bit of questions there that PFF gave that a below average grade. It didn't give it a letter grade, but it gave it below average. A lot of people had him going in round 4. I think Mel Kiper mentioned that he might be the 92nd or something along those lines pick, and the Packers went up and got him at 50. So they believe in him. They believe in the versatility that he offers, and he's going to make this a very competitive offensive line where now you have somebody's got to start at left tackle, but left guard's going to be Aaron Banks. Elgton Jenkins is expected to move to the center spot. Sean Ryan's at right guard. Zach Tom's a great right tackle, but that means you have Belton from yesterday, Rasheed Walker, who's a 7th-round pick from last year, and Jordan Morgan, who's the 1st-round pick from last year, all competing for that left tackle spot. That's a lot of draft capital to invest in what is going to be 2 backup offensive linemen. Now, I know you can never have enough offensive linemen. Having guys when someone goes down is important, but that's interesting. And then we wrap it up with another wide receiver who Brian Gutekunst did not want to call a gadget guy, but that's what he was used as in college. Despite his 6'4" frame, despite being huge and powerful, most of his receiving work came on short to intermediate passes. They put him in the Wildcat. They had him doing jet sweeps and starting as a running back. I mean, this is going to be your Deebo Samuel punish you kind of wide receiver. Now, he's much larger than Deebo Samuel, but that is another guy who is as versatile as they come.
Yeah, what is he coming in at? 6'4"? Yeah.
223, I believe.
4'8", 40-yard 2 at 6'4". That's a big boy.
Big boy.
That's a big boy, and if you're thinking like a Deebo Samuel, if anything, if I'm a Packer fan, I should be excited for that. I should be, and I don't think Packers fans are not excited, but it's like, why hide the fact? Like, why try to not call this guy a gadget? I mean, if anything, if I'm Savion Williams and I'm called a gadget, I feel like that's a good gas up for me. I feel like I'm like, yeah, you don't know what type of threat I am. You don't know. It's like I'm not just this one-dimensional guy. I could be used in different formations. I could be in the backfield. Heck, even if I could run the Wildcat formation and throw a pass, why not? If I'm going to be seen as more than just a single threat, I think that's a great thing to do. And you know what it is with Goody at the podium. I don't know why he was trying to hide away from the gadgets, why he wasn't calling him a gadget, but why not? Why not embrace it? Why not embrace something that's fun, that's changing? Like that's what football is today. You want to be more versatile. You want to be a threat. You want to be that unknown guy of what's going to happen next.
And he offers that, and so does everyone the Packers have drafted at this point. We know that Matthew Golden is going to go out there and be a dominant player, but what does this mean for the other guys in this offense, specifically those wide receivers? Jaden Reed, there's a lot of expectations. There was so much hype and excitement around him last year. Dontavian Wicks, the offseason hero, right? A lot of people expected him to step up and make a huge difference, which he did not in the regular season. What does it mean for those guys, and what does it mean for this offense? We'll have more on that coming up next. It is ESPN Wisconsin Draft Day, live from the shadow of Lambeau Field.
More coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin Draft Week, presented by American Family Insurance.
Get the beat of the Bucks straight from a fan favorite and Bucks legend.
Welcome to the fantastic voyage. Marcus Johnson, the captain of this vessel.
Tap into Here District with Marcus Johnson, a Bucks Plus audio production.
My first mate, Chris Johnson, the only father and son tandem.
Your weekly pulse on the Milwaukee Bucks and conversations with the biggest names in basketball. This week, Marcus and Chris give playoff reactions on the pod. Find Here District now on Bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, or wherever you get your podcast.
Picks are made every year with the NFL Draft as each team dreams fearlessly. Let's rewind for an American Family Insurance Green Bay Dream Pick.
An annual storyline with the green and gold is whether or not a new wide receiver will be drafted in the first round. It's something that hasn't happened since 2002.
Green Bay Packers exercised the 20th pick in this draft to select Javon Walker, wide receiver from Florida State.
Javon Walker, the big athletic wideout from Florida State, was taken 20th overall by Green Bay. After promising rookie and sophomore seasons, Walker spent his third season in 2004 breaking out and earning a Pro Bowl nod.
Far throws, passes, caught for a touchdown, Walker. And the Green Bay Packers are out in
This Green Bay Dream Pick is presented by American Family Insurance. American Family Insurance is always a great pick because their agents are there to protect your dreams. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Introducing the newest carbless flavor, Mango Vodka. Flavored with the essence of the ripest, freshest mangoes, Carbless Mango Vodka will transport your taste buds to a sunny beach getaway. New flavor, still the same carbless crafted cocktails with 0 carbs, 0 sugars, and only 100 calories. Enjoy a refreshing vodka cocktail without the guilt. 4 packs of the new Carbless Mango Vodka cocktail are available in stores near you. Find your bliss today at drinkcarbless.com and escape with every sip.
Oh, can't show you in there.
Why not?
That's the bathroom. We need a new shower bad.
Think your shower is one of the ugliest in Wisconsin? Upload your photo by April 30th to goodkarmabrands.com/Wisconsin contest for a chance to win a free shower remodel. One lucky fan will win a free shower remodel from Kohler Services, including design consultation, demolition, and removal of your existing shower or bath, and installation of a brand new Kohler Luxstone shower. goodkarmabrands.com/Wisconsin contests.
Your current car, soon to be your old car. A new car? Better start looking. But you've got this. Just like Associated Bank's got you with free credit score and score monitoring on most new consumer checking accounts. Because when you know you need to make a big purchase, knowing your credit score puts you in the driver's seat. You've got this with free credit monitor from Associated Bank. See associatedbank.com/checking or ask a banker for details. Member FDIC.
Hey, Gina, did you hear about the draft?
Wayne, there's no draft at Pella.
There's definitely a draft. Right, Wildy?
Yeah,
everybody's talking about it.
Pella windows are constructed of the highest quality. No drafts.
Yeah, sure. Okay. No drafts. Got it. There's more than one draft?
No, but Pella should be everyone's #1 pick because right now at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, get no interest financing options or free glass upgrades when you order by April 30th. Our talented designers and installers can match your unique home through dramatic sizes, custom colors, finishes, profiles, product types, and more, along with durable and distinguished details. All Pella products stand the test of time, which is why we confidently offer the best wood warranty in the industry.
So where is the draft?
Coon. Get no interest financing options or free glass upgrades at PellaWI.com.
Certain restrictions apply. Ends 4/30/2025. Don't miss a second of ESPN Wisconsin Draft Week, presented by American Family Insurance. Download the brand new ESPN Wisconsin app today and stay on top of it all.
6,000 tons more than the Edmund Fitzgerald weighed empty. That good ship and true was a bone to be chewed when the gales
This
of
bump
November
song
came
brought to you by
hurrying.
Part-Time Will back in the one call That's All Good Law studios. And we've got our guy, while he was wearing his pin from the Edmund Fitzgerald, which Pablo Iglesias does not know what the Edmund Fitzgerald is. Is that true?
I do not.
All right.
Please explain.
So this is a song, right, obviously, that is about a ship that sank in Lake Superior, or maybe just around. It was around the bend, getting closer to Lake Michigan, but it was in Lake Superior still, and it's just like Wisconsin lore at its finest. I am shocked that you don't know, but I digress. This is not important. I couldn't believe you didn't know.
Well, it seems like it's important to you. I mean, please tell me a little bit more about
Gordon
this.
Lightfoot
I
is
need
a
a
world-class
lesson.
musician, and he made a song about this
I
giant
have heard that
boat,
song before.
the giant boat that goes down in November. Again, we are live from Lambeau Field. This is ESPN Wisconsin Draft Day. We are talking Packers. We're talking Cheeseheads. The chat agrees with me that instead of a Packers hat for the first round pick, as he walks out and greets the fans, the faithful here, braving the weather, which, I mean, I guess on Thursday was pretty nice. But today is very cold, despite the shorts that I'm seeing as fans continue to walk into the NFL draft zone. All Packer fans almost. So this is a true hometown hero draft. They should not be handing out a Packers hat to the Packers first round draft pick. It should be a Cheesehead. And if you don't have the gall and the vitriol to wear the Cheesehead right away, I don't know what you're doing. And the chat agrees with me. We've got multiple people on YouTube, multiple people chiming in on the Carbless Talk and text line 800-990-3776. That's your way into the show. Tell us what you think about the Packers' first draft picks as they have gone wide receiver, tackle, wide receiver, and that means something's got to give. There are a handful of Packers wide receivers now. We've got Matthew Golden, first-round pick, speed demon, 4.29. Savion Williams, who is an absolute unit. I mean, he can do anything. He's a gadget guy. He's 6'4". He's huge. He's strong. He's powerful. We're thinking Deebo Samuel, Cordell Patterson. I mean, this is the archetype that you're looking for to make an offense dynamic and versatile. But then you've got the guys who've been around. Fourth year, Romeo Doubs. Third year, Jaden Reed. Third year, Dontavian Wicks. Christian Watson in his fourth year, coming off of an ACL injury. Bo Melton in his third year, who ran a 4.34, by the way, just blazing speed. Malik Heath, third year. He's a 6'2" kind of guy. And they bring in McCole Hardman. They can't keep 9 players on their roster. So, Pablo Iglesias, my question to you is, who's going to go?
I'm just breaking this down right now. I would think that it could potentially be McCole Hardman, but I don't know. I mean, right now he also fits a special teams role. I think that's also one of the reasons why the Packers wanted to bring him on. He's a veteran leader. He's a guy who's been in a Super Bowl championships, Super Bowl runs, and Super Bowl organizations with the Kansas City Chiefs. But, I don't think it's actually McCole Hardman. I'm actually wondering if it's going to be Romeo Doubs, to be honest. You look how last season went for him, whether it was the locker room, back and forth issues, I guess, if you will, if we want to call it that, or if it wasn't the miscommunication, all of those things. He didn't perform at the level that he was hoping to. We don't know exactly why that why those things started to build up, why he wasn't showing up to practice, why the Packers exactly suspended him for a week or two, and however long that period was, and there were a lot of question marks there. And I'm not saying that is the reason why he's going to get potentially pushed out if that's where I'm seeing it. But I don't know. I feel like that also it is something that you got to add up. But I don't know, is he going to take that next step? I think this is going to be a big proving year for Romeo Doubs. Also, when I say it like this too, I don't think that Jaden Reed's going to get pushed. I think he's going to be I really hope Jaden Reed is up for the challenge. I think he did take a step back last season. That's where I think he could be a superstar. I said it last offseason. I thought that was going to be the guy that got the bag. I thought that's the guy that you should throw the money at. And if they did that last offseason and he had the season that he had last year, I would have been so disappointed because I'm like, I just had so many high expectations for Jaden Reed. I thought, again, he's the guy that could almost do anything, even though he's a slot guy. I loved that. I go back to the play of against the Rams last season where he was in triple coverage, and Jordan Love maybe taking a little too much of a risk, threw that ball out in triple coverage, and Jaden Reed somehow comes away with it. We only saw flashes of that last season, and I felt like it was a little more consistent in his first season. Mm-hmm. So
in the post-game interview for that play in particular against the Rams, Jordan Love said, yeah, coach is going to say that's an A for outcome, an F for decision-making. He just put it up for the people, and the 5'11" Jaden Reed came down with it in just a fantastic way. But I think that we can all agree Jaden Reed, despite losing snap percentage, probably a safe bet to be on the Packers as we move forward. Matthew Golden, absolutely. First-round pick, 4.29 speed. I mean, he's a guy. He's a dog. He's probably safe. Savion Williams, again, probably safe. I think that you bring in Matthew Golden, who runs a 4.29, has multiple kick returns for touchdowns in his college career, one of which was 100 yards, and then he's a first-rounder. I think Mecole Hardman, we draft or sign him to a one-year deal. I don't think he's ever going to even make it to Green Bay. I mean, he might be getting a call today to say, hey, sorry, man, you're going to have to find, go see what the Bills are doing. Go see what's happening over there as the Bills get nothing. And the Packers, the Bills were originally supposed to get Savion Williams. That was what everyone was saying, and that's why I bring it up. But Mecole Hardman,
once again trading a pick to skip out on a wide receiver. That Xavier Worthy pick that they traded to the Chiefs last year. Oof. Hopefully it doesn't hurt them.
So Mecole Hardman, I think, is out of town. Malik Heath, I've enjoyed watching him. He's stepped up when the Packers needed him, but he's never been anything crazy. And then Bo Melton, probably, despite his 4.34 speed and excellence, he was the first Packers wide receiver to have 100 yards under Jordan Love. I think he's also probably out, which means the guys you're going into the season with is probably Matthew Golden, Savion Williams, Romeo Doubs, Jaden Reed, Dontavion Wicks, and then Christian Watson when he is healthy. Now, the Packers also have a pretty strong tight end core, and I think that those are the guys who will probably see the biggest bump in production and love to see the speed and gadget energy coming through, because you need to have someone who's strong, someone who is able to stop all 223 pounds of Savion Williams wherever he's getting the ball, right? Whether that's coming out of the backfield, he's run the Wildcat. He can throw pretty well, too, which we've seen in college, which, again, I don't think that's going to be a big part of his game, but emergency backup quarterback, sure, why not? You got a guy who can sling it 50 yards and make some real trick plays happen.
Let me ask you this, too. Would you be surprised, because looking at this breakdown here, you have Romeo Doubs and Christian Watson going into their fourth year. I think Christian Watson's on a different deal, but Romeo Doubs heading into the final year for sure of his rookie deal. And I feel like I'm more and more convinced now that I think about it that I think this might be, unless he blows up, unless he has, and I'm not just talking about Packers star-studded season, I am talking about he is like, wow, how is he like the top dog in the league? Like this is the guy. He showed us a few flashes his rookie season. I remember Aaron Rodgers in training camp saying that Romeo Doubs had some of the strongest hands that he has seen. He was really impressed with his catching abilities, and it just feels like there's been a little bit of a drop off.
Well, Packers.
Do you see an opportunity where we don't see Romeo Doubs and Christian Watson as Packers next season?
No, I think so the way that their contracts are set up, from my understanding, is that yes, they're both going to be bigger this year than they have been in the last few years, but I imagine putting Christian Watson on IR to start the season. He's going to stick around. There's a lot of faith. You can't teach speed and height. I mean, heck, I play for the Madison Radicals professional ultimate frisbee team in Madison, right? They have me around because I'm 6'4" and I run a 4.6 40, right? Those are my main things. There's a lot of people in the world who can throw better than me. There's a lot of people who know the sport better than me. But I can do things that people can't do because of that. That's frisbee. This is football. It's a much bigger deal here, and the margins are so much smaller. So you need to have those things. He's going to get plenty of time to recover. And like I said, I think he's going to come back as a Packer next year, get re-signed. He's going to test free agency. It's not going to go super well. And he'll sign a team-friendly deal.
Mm-hmm.
On the other side, Romeo Doubs, going into his fourth year, is he someone that other teams might be interested in trading for? That's where, today as we get ready for the 4th through 7th rounds, that could make some sense to me. I still anticipate them keeping him around because it's a relatively cheap deal. I think it's only like $1.3, $1.4 million hit this year. And as far as his hands go, I think it would be really tough to let Romeo Doubs go, because I think that more than any other receiver that the Green Bay Packers have at this point, he's a possession guy. He's your third down guy. Now, if Tucker Kraft steps up in a meaningful way, then yes, I see I see him filling the same role that Romeo Doubs does, plus he's going to be a better passer or run blocker. But in terms of letting him go, I don't think that there's a world where we cut Romeo Doubs. And we'll get this up on Twitter. I want to put this out as an ESPN Draft Day poll question. Which Packers receiver do you think is most likely not go, or which receiver do you think will most likely not be on the Packers come the start of the season? The options we'll put out there: Romeo Doubs, Dontavion Wicks, Christian Watson. Because I think Bo Melton, Malik Heath, Mecole Hardman, those are all guys that you might keep around in a practice squad facility. Yeah, right. Like you love Bo Melton and what he's done. He's the kind of guy who you want to have around in case Jaden Reed or Matthew Golden goes down. He doesn't have a super strong market despite that speed. But I don't see him being a starter and a true impact player, specifically when you go wide receiver, tackle, wide receiver to start the draft.
Yeah, and the Packers only keeping 6 receivers last season, and having a pair or a trio out there, and what's it going to look like now with it? And it feels like there's a lot of confidence too in not just Tucker Kraft himself, but also Matt LaFleur believing that Tucker Kraft could be like a legitimate number 1 option in this offense. So, what is that going to look like? How are they going to spread the wealth there? And then you got Josh Jacobs. It is a good time for sure for this offense. They're young. They're still trying to prove a lot. But looking at it on paper, and, it does remind me, though, this was kind of where we were coming into last offseason. The weapons are great on paper, but how are they going to actually get those results come playing time?
800-990-3776 is the Carbless Talking text line. That's your way into the show. That's where Chef Ed said the Packers offense will leave defenses scrambled, much like the eggs I had for breakfast this morning. Because Goody, the goose that laid the golden egg, that's Chef Ed. And I want to talk more about that because the Green Bay Packers, we all thought were going to go defense heavy early. And they have only drafted offensive players. We'll tell you what that means for day 3 of the NFL Draft. Coming up next, this is ESPN Wisconsin Draft Day from Lambeau Field.
We're back after this on ESPN Wisconsin Draft Week, presented by American Family Insurance. You remember the moments from that magical March.
Side Decker, it's a 3. Got it!
On June 26th, celebrate the squad with Made 'em Believe, a special night with Bo Ryan, Frank Kaminsky, and Sam Decker.
Here's Kaminsky, the drop step, that's his favorite. And the 2.
Presented by Bud Light, Michelob Ultra, Potosi Varsity Ale, and Potosi Hard Seltzer. Tickets are on sale now at uwhoops2015.com. Made 'em Believe, June 26th at the Orpheum Theater in Madison.
Are you heading up to Green Bay for the draft? If you're looking for a ride there and back, the Potawatomi Hotel and Sportsbook have a couple of packages you should check out. Hey, it's Jen Latta. I'm here with Sarah Neubauer from Potawatomi Casino Hotel. Sarah, tell us about this first package, a hotel stay and shuttle rides for 2 people.
Yeah, we have a limited deal going on that includes a 1-night hotel stay and shuttle ride to and from Green Bay for 2 guests. The cost is $600 per night, but listen to what this package comes with. So $100 reward play per guest per night, so that's $200 right back in your pockets, plus a $100 food and beverage gift card per night. The shuttle departs Potawatomi at 1 p.m. and leaves Green Bay by 11. Find this package by going to our hotel reservations page.
And I hear you can bring your own food and drinks on the shuttle. So either bring your own snacks or you can buy it all from the 10+ dining locations at Potawatomi with the gift card. But what if someone doesn't need a hotel stay and they still want the ease of a shuttle to get back and forth to Green Bay?
Yeah, we have individual shuttle passes available for purchase as well. It's $100 per person per day, but you also get $25 of reward play, so another $25 of free money to use at the casino. The shuttle departs Potawatomi at 1 p.m. and leaves Green Bay by 11. And same perks as before, you can bring your own food and drinks on the shuttle.
Now, finally, what if someone wants an awesome space just to watch the draft right here in Milwaukee?
You can watch it all at the Tailgate Hub, Potawatomi Sportsbook. We'll have $1 off draft beers all weekend. And then watch it all on a crazy, huge LED screen. Watch every moment, maybe even a few other games happening that weekend as well. So reserve your spot today.
And where can everyone go to learn more?
Potawatomi.com/sportsbook.
Stay up to date on the green and gold all off season. The Green and Gold Fix podcast is brought to you by Potawatomi Casino Hotel. Luxury stay, elite play, unwind in sophisticated comfort. Win big, dine, and experience the events in Milwaukee.
Enough is enough when it comes to living with joint pain. If you're experiencing chronic joint pain in your knees, your hips, your shoulders, or your back, it's time to call my friends at QC Kinetics. They're the nation's leader in regenerative treatments, and they're helping you get your life back. When I went to the Greenfield location and I got to see everything that QC Kinetics had in store to help its patients, I was amazed at all the different tools in their toolkit to bring people back to full health. We're talking plasma, platelets, PRP, cutting-edge regenerative treatments that are giving people their life back and giving them long-term pain relief. QC Kinetics is able to do all of this without surgery, drugs, or downtime. A healthier life is on the horizon for you, but you need to take that next step to call QC Kinetics to get your free consultation. Now is the time to start enjoying life without chronic joint pain. Call QC Kinetics today at 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. 414-285-3474.
Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
They treated me like family.
They're actually people that you can depend on.
They made me feel seen. They really treated me like I was a part of their family, a part of their team.
They ask how you're doing, how you're feeling.
They're just so welcoming and so sweet and kind.
It's like family, caring about another member of the family.
If you've been injured, it costs you nothing to see if Gruber Law Offices can help.
This is ESPN Wisconsin Draft Week, presented by American Family Insurance on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Is the Packers offense good enough to make up for the fact that they have not drafted a defensive player to start this NFL draft? I'm Alex Gravatt alongside Pablo Iglesias. This is ESPN Wisconsin Draft Day live from the shadow of Lambeau Field. It's still cold. It's windy. It's everything you'd expect from a Green Bay experience, specifically right now as the NFL draft is in town. Pablo Iglesias, what say you?
Oh, man. Well, first off, it is getting chillier. Even though we've been in the shade, our Unsportsmanlike team, you could see that you could listen to them 6 to 9 on ESPN Madison across the board, too. What was it? They're also on ESPN2, ESPNU, the whole team, Chris Canty, Evan Cohen, Michelle Smallman out here. I cannot stop but think of what Chris Canty was saying, I think, Thursday morning when the sun was out, and yet it somehow got colder. Even though we've been in the shade, it feels like sun is out. It feels like it's a lot warmer. Our teammate, digital content specialist Madison Hayes, came over here too. She said, "Hey, the sun was out. I might wear a golf skirt." And she's like, "Nope, it's still windy. It's still chilly out here, so it's getting cold." But nevertheless, still exciting to be out here, man. Day 3, final day of the draft. I said the most electric day because that's just where all the picks are coming in left and right.
There's a lot of draft swapping. There's trades happening. There's all sorts of stuff like that, and you never know when you're going to find a deep cut, somebody who's going to make an impact. Carrington Valentine, for example, he was a 7th round pick. We weren't sure what was going to come from him, and he is now a projected starter. And I mean, listen, we haven't talked about it yet. Jair Alexander is still a Green Bay Packer, and that is kind of a surprise. Most people thought once the new year for the league came around, he would be gone, whatever it was. We weren't sure when he was going to be on his way out, but we were all pretty sure that he's on his way out of the green and gold. And that stinks because he's a fantastic player, but he's been injured early. He's been injured often, and there's been some, off the field or even on the field, but personality issues with that. He's part of what makes up 43%. I did some math. 43% of the Packers' cap space that is spent on defensive line or defensive back, right? That is over $122 million. And they're spending $24 this year on Jair Alexander. And listen, there's a very real chance that he gets moved today. And if that's the case, I don't know if the Green Bay Packers have done enough to keep up with the other teams in the division in particular on defense. Now, offensively, the Packers have put themselves in a fantastic position. This is going to be a tough season. It's going to be a great learning opportunity for the young guys. It's getting Jordan Love protected and getting him the weapons that he needs to be effective. But, man, I don't know if they're going to find enough absolute playmakers on the defensive side of the ball in rounds 4 through 7 today.
I mean, it is exciting to think about what this offense could be, but do you feel concerned about this defense? Do you feel concerned about this unit? Because the pass rush was awful last season. They were not what they should have been. Is Lucas Van Ness going to have this big season, or is he going to break through? How is Rashawn Gary going to be in this pass rush as well? There are big question marks for me in this defense, and of course, Jair Alexander. We thought he would have been traded a long time ago, or at least he's going to be cut. A la, even though Devontae Adams with the Jets was going to be a different situation. The Jets ended up cutting him. It seems like that the Packers might just not get enough trade partners to where it just gets to the point where teams are just waiting it out. Teams are just waiting it out to get cut. I don't know if is it really worth it to swap another 7th-round pick for Jair Alexander unless there's a guy out there that you really like. And I'm just saying 7th round, really more of a day 3 pick. I could see 4th or 5th round pick, an extra one there, but otherwise it's just like, is it really, to quote Jason Wilde, who we should have in a little bit later today, is the juice worth the squeeze in that situation?
Yeah. And that's a fantastic point because Jair Alexander, when healthy, is one of the better players in the NFL at his position.
When healthy.
When healthy.
When healthy.
when not.
When not 80%.
Exactly.
And I don't know. I've never been a professional athlete. I will wholeheartedly admit that. I don't know what playing through the injuries that these guys go through, what that is like. But it's. I just don't know what the issue is. I'm trying to figure out, like we all are, what the heck is happening. When he is on, he is on, and he's a fun player. He's electric. He's just it feels like when he's on, he's just a good vibe. But we have not seen that. We did not really see that last season. We were hoping that he was going to work his way up and finally work his way back into the rotation. We saw it in Chicago. It looked like that he was ready to go, and then he kind of pulls himself out of the game.
And then, he opts into a surgery that we all believe was optional. And here's the thing. I don't want to come out and come after anybody who's getting a surgery or is injured, right? That is outside of their control in a lot of ways, and it's the NFL, right? This is a tough game. It does things to your body that are just I don't know. I don't have to play football. I don't get to play football.
You're a professional athlete, though.
Okay, yes. But I'm playing ultimate frisbee, my friend, which is, sure, I might twist an ankle, and some of my friends have had real injuries. Don't get me wrong, but...
Well, you did have your real injury, too. You did puncture the lung.
I did collapse a lung.
Or collapse a lung.
And I came to work the next day. But then I went to the hospital. But we did a radio show, the two of us.
We did do a show. That's like that G's Jordan flu game was very much... doing the great day in the huddle out over in Madison, you and I, and it was on a collapsed lung.
Yes, I did in fact do that. And listen, again, anything can happen at any moment to anybody. But I want to come back to Jair, where he's not playing because of injury, and the relationship might be too damaged. And that's the problem, right? The problem is not the on-the-field scale. The problem might be a little bit the contract, which is why we can't get more for him. But there's a real chance that the Packers move him today. And from the top 30 visits that Brian Gutekunst went on, that he met with these young guys, the cornerbacks that he was looking at are both gone, right? There were 2 in the mid-30s, according to ESPN. They were going to be in the mid-30s with Savon Revel and Trey Amos. Those guys are both gone. The only other 2 that they looked at, Jason Marshall, that's 225. So there's a very real chance that the Packers go and get him tonight, this afternoon, whenever. And then Micah Robinson from Tulane, who's not even ranked, not going to be drafted. That's probably more of a recruiting visit, right? He's saying, hey, there's a very real chance you're not going to get drafted. When that happens, we want to be the people you come look at. And Gutekunst has really used these top 30 visits to decide who he wants. He did not, in fact, meet with the Packers third-round wide receiver, but he did meet with Matthew Golden, and he did meet with the offensive lineman Anthony Belton, who both have come to the Packers so far. Now, if we're looking at the rest of the draft, there are a lot of defensive guys he talked to, but for the most part, they're much later. Now, two people we might be looking at are defensive tackles in this range. I'm not entirely sure who's going to be available for the Packers. He did use these pretty heavily for days 1, 2, and 3, and then he looked at a lot of offensive linemen late in the draft. So is the Packers defense going to be good enough despite not drafting anybody? We'll have Brian Gutekunst's thoughts on that next, and we'll get that out there for you guys. 800-990-3776. That's the Carbless Talk and text line, talking about the Packers defense and if it's going to be good enough post day 1 and 2 of the draft. This is ESPN Wisconsin Draft Day, live from the Tundra Trio in the shadow of Lambeau Field.
Tailgate season, company victory party, don't let your event fall short. V Private Bar Services delivers the winning play with expertise. We're talking custom cocktails, top shelf service, and an atmosphere that'll have your team pumped. Forget the watered down beer and basic mixers. Get the VIP treatment for your corporate events with bartenders who know the perfect pour. V Private Bar Services, where elevated hospitality runs through our veins. Explore vprivatebar.com and leave the mixing to us.
Bev Anderson has a big idea she wants to share.
Bev has been here for 24 years.
Hi, Bev. We're anxious to hear your idea.
Kessler's is 45 years old this year. Monica, remember when your dad used to say in every radio ad, "I'm Richard Kessler, and I want to be your jeweler"?
I never got to hear that.
Yeah, and then Rick would say,
Kessler's Diamonds, inconveniently located on Appleton Avenue, Menominee Falls.
Inconveniently?
Richard said it was inconvenient for people to have to drive all the way to Menominee Falls, so he might as well admit it.
Bev, tell us your idea.
Richard said something else in almost every ad, and I think we should start saying it again because it's really important.
Tell us.
We do diamonds better because diamonds are what we do.
I love that.
Fantastic idea, Bev.
Kessler's Diamonds.
We do diamonds better because diamonds are what we do.
For the location nearest you, visit KesslersDiamonds.com.
Quarterback Jordan Love isn't just on the Packers. He's also on the American Family Insurance team. Because like us, he believes in dreaming fearlessly.
Just chase your dreams and don't let nobody hold you back.
And we help protect those dreams with the right coverage so you can
dream fearlessly.
American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Hey, this is Gabe Neitzel. You're listening to 94.5 ESPN, WKTI, and WKTI HD, Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
Okay, Green Bay, it's your time.
The NFL draft gets underway in Green Bay.
Look at all of these people expecting $250 million over the weekend here in Green Bay.
We need to continue to ramp up our sense of urgency.
If they're not better this year, there's going to be a lot of seats warming up.
They've needed receivers in the first round and not done it.
With the 23rd pick.
We were watching the board and just trying to do what's right for the Packers.
In the 2025 NFL Draft.
Great spin by Golden. Man, that was 24-karat Golden.
The 13-time world champion Green Bay Packers.
It was so cool, you know, the energy that the Packer fans got, man. You know, I could just feel it. I'm glad the organization picked me. Guys are coming in and making an impact quicker, and I certainly think Matthew has the opportunity to do that.
For the first time since 2002.
On a night when they announced the pick in Green Bay, what an awesome, awesome moment.
They took Matthew Golden. Draft a wide receiver.
Welcome to my Texas wide receiver Matthew Golden is a Green Bay Packer.
Love the Packers getting Matthew Golden, a guy they needed.
Touchdown, Matthew Golden.
Matthew Golden, wide receiver, Texas.
I don't think he's supposed to grab the podium microphone and yell to the fans after he's picked.
Welcome to my
Green Bay on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Does that make this the golden hour?
I will give it that one. That's a pun that hasn't been used yet, and I like that.
It might be 10 o'clock in the morning, but it is the golden hour. I'm Alex Gravatt alongside Pablo Iglesias. This is ESPN Wisconsin Draft Day presented by American Family Insurance. We are at the Tundra Trio in the shadow of Lambeau Field. I can see the big G right in front of me as fans continue to funnel in. And my goodness, what an exciting, fantastic montage put together by the team we've got going back at the One Call That's All Gruber Law Offices Studios in Milwaukee. Matthew Golden, the poster child of this draft, absolutely. Nick Saban, we heard it earlier. He believes this could be the most impactful draft of any player, right, for what it means to their team right away. So the Green Bay Packers get their receiver. They get their tackle, this mountain of a man. They get their draft. There's all the people, all the energy. Pablo was talking about earlier. We are mere steps away from where the NFL draft is happening here at the Tundra Trio that Good Karma Brands owns. And we can hear the energy. We can hear the excitement. We can hear the chants of Go Pack Go resonating through the neighborhood. And that's exactly what it is. It is just a neighborhood here outside of Lambeau Field. And that energy has been palpable all weekend long, Pablo. Isn't that right?
Yeah, absolutely. Again, it's just it's almost a calm before the storm here as we're in the shadows of Lambeau Field here at the Tundra Trio getting ready for day 3. It's even though it's the nice thing, I've been out here for all 3 days, and I love me some sunlight, man. We got a little bit of it on Thursday, but for the most part, yesterday was rainy. Then we had a little bit of an overcast on Thursday. The sun is out. It's a little windy, so put on that jacket. But, man, I just love it. I love how it's just such a good radiating vibe out here, man. And I'm ready for day 3. This is I don't know how else to say it, man. It's just an immaculate type of vibe out here today.
Now, my experience wasn't quite what yours was. I was not here for day 1 of the NFL draft. I was watching from the comfort of my home in Madison, Wisconsin. I came out for day 2, and I did – for pick 2, I went out, and I was in the crowd. I was with all the people. I was waiting to hear Shedeur Sanders' name called, which hilariously, it meant, I don't understand how it's possible, but he is still available on the board. Must be a personality thing. I mean, he's a good quarterback. He's someone who I would expect someone to take a shot on, but I guess not.
Let's stop taking shots, too, at just saying – I've had conversations with people of why they don't want Shedeur Sanders to be taken. It's like, I don't – and eventually the conversation just gets to the point where they don't like Deion Sanders. Why are we using that as the main point? Whether people want to use that right up front or not, let's put that aside. It is what it is. I think Shedeur would be a good asset to a team. I think he's a good passer. He didn't have a great offensive line at Colorado, and he was the Big 12 Offensive Player of the Year. Why are people sleeping on him right now?
For a 4th-round pick? It seems worth it to me.
It's worth it.
But I don't want him on the Packers. Right? We don't need him. We've got Jordan Love, and while Jordan Love definitely not the world beater that we're used to with Aaron Rodgers, I mean, he is an incredibly talented quarterback, somebody who I think can continue to grow, mature, and become someone who you can win with. I don't know if he's somebody who you can win because of, but you can definitely win with him. And it's a lot easier to win with him when he's surrounded by excellent targets, which he has. Now, we've put the poll out in the field. We've got it. Now that the Packers have drafted 2 more wide receivers, not Dontavion Wicks, my apologies. He's on the team already, in Matthew Golden and in Savion Williams. Which wide receiver do you think is most likely to not make the team next year? Christian Watson, Romeo Doubs, or Dontavion Wicks? You've got the answer to that poll question as of right now, Pablo. What is it looking like?
Right now, it's neck and neck. If we were given the choice, or if these 3 players are the only ones that could get cut, it's Wicks by a hair. 36.7% if we really want to get all the way down to the decimal point. Dontavion Wicks, and actually looks like Romeo Doubs is shooting up the list now. So right now fans are saying that Dontavion Wicks is most likely the guy that is not going to be a Green Bay Packer next season.
And
or
listen,
before the season.
That makes sense. His draft profile mentions he had some concentration drops throughout his career in college, but he was athletically someone who you could definitely overlook that. And then he starts making strides. In practice, drops aren't a problem, according to Jason Wilde, all off-season long. And once we get into the season and we start seeing them, he's like, well, this isn't something that they're worried about. It's not been enough of a trend, but per the research I've been doing, it seems like it may have been a trend for a long time. You got to catch the ball, and that's something that Brian Gutekunst said in his presser last night. But as we turn our focus to the thing that the Packers haven't focused on, which is the defense, Brian Gutekunst says that he has faith in the guys in-house. Here's Brian Gutekunst in his presser from last night saying that they've got faith in what they've got in-house.
Yeah, like I said, I think I feel very good about the guys we got in the building. We do need to improve with our consistency, but there was times we were pretty dominant this year, rushing the passer. So we got the whole day tomorrow too, as well, to see if we can add any competition to that room. But I feel good about those guys on our football team right now. So again, you can't create stuff. You got to build your board and you got to trust it, and that's the way things fell today.
And that's the way things fell. I mean, they got some very strong pieces with Savion Williams, who is somebody who they can put out at the wideout spot. They can put him close to the tight ends in a slot position. They run jet sweeps with him. He's done wildcats. He's thrown the football throughout college. I mean, most of his work, despite being 6'4" and fast, actually comes on short passing games. It's the kind of guy who's a vicious, violent runner. You want the ball in his hands, and he's someone who you should be excited to see the versatility of come to fruition here once he gets to Green Bay. But the question is, are the guys the Packers have in-house enough? I want to hear from you, 800-990-3776. Do you think the guys the Packers have are enough on the defensive side of the football? And Pablo Iglesias, what say you?
I stand by it, where the defense just right now feels like that there are a lot of gaps that need to be fixed. But looking at this, where the Packers have tried to draft guys high, you look at the first-round picks. I want to run through this over the last years. You had Jordan Morgan on the offensive line, but then in 2023 you go Lucas Van Ness, who showed some promise rookie season, fell off a little bit last year. But then you go into Quay Walker, who is still finding a little bit of that groove. Eric Stokes, too. That didn't work out. And then you got Jordan Love in 2020. But the reason why I bring this up is looking at where Goody and company have really hit their home runs is a day like today with their defensive picks. So I'm curious to know, if they're going to go all defense today. I mean, I feel like that has to be the bulk. You look at last year, too. Evan Williams was a 3-day guy. Jacob Monk, too, another guy who made some significant impacts on the team. Carl Brooks, Carrington Valentine in the season before. I think this is a day where, even though it's like you don't know if these guys are, most of these guys, like on day 3 for a lot of these teams, are they even going to make practice squads? That's how it goes. The Packers have actually shown it's been the other way around, where they have found the diamonds in the rough. They have found the guys on day 3, and a lot of those guys have been the defensive stars. They've been the defensive stars that are late-round sleepers. And I think this is, again, a day where the Packers really need to show that, hey, they've done it before. Why not do it again?
Our friends down at ESPN Chicago, ESPN 1000, were talking about it. And they say to win a Super Bowl, you need 7 or 8 blue-chip guys. And I think, well, yes, the Packers have done very well late in drafts. They find guys, they develop them, they give them the time and space to be talented and to show that explosivity, that talent, that work that they have. They do a really good job of that. But you're not finding blue chip guys there. There are the Tom Bradys of the world are truly limited. You get a lot of talented All-Pro, Pro Bowl, at the very least, caliber players in draft in the first round. And the Packers have invested so much draft capital in round 1. They have invested so much money in round 1, and it's all on that defensive line. So while I get that the Packers need to get somebody to shore that up or see some true development in jumps coming from their guys, you've got someone you're paying $25 million. You got someone you're paying $20 million. And then you've got a bunch of first-round picks. I don't know who you're expecting to knock off. And while I say that, they're doing that exact thing on the offensive line, where they spend a second-round draft pick on an offensive tackle who now has to compete with another offensive tackle that they spent a first-round draft pick a year ago on. And arguably the best player of the 3 options they have for left tackle is a 7th-round pick. So I don't know exactly where they're going to go with this, but they need to make improvements along the offensive or defensive line, the defensive front in particular. Goody believes that they can do that from within, but from what I've seen so far, I'm not certain that that's the case. 800-990-3776. That's your way in. We want to hear from you. Do you think the guys in-house have what it takes to make that jump, much like Goody believes that they can, or at least he's said to us? Or do you think that they need to find a guy in the draft today, going into rounds 4, 5, 6, and 7? Pablo?
You know, it's interesting what comes to mind, and I want to even go into the college side of it, where Luke Fickell, who was on Wilde and Tausch a couple weeks ago towards the end of spring ball as the Wisconsin Badgers wrap up, he even said where college ball, guys need to make an immediate impact if they want to get some playing time right off the bat, and you got to invest in these young guys. And Goody even said it too. You heard it at the start of this portion, is that they're looking for some real first-day impact guys. I mean, the chances of that happening with every single pick that you get on a, whether it's, day 1, day 2, day 3, I mean, those aren't high odds, but I feel like that the Packers have shown, at least over the last few years, that 1 or 2 guys from the third-day picks, they've ended up being pretty decent. So, again, I think stick to the homework. But going back to the question of, I just don't know how much faith I have in the defense. I don't know if it's really something that they can turn a corner with the pass rush. I want to see Lucas Van Ness take a bigger step. I want to see that, I want to see that fire in him. Where is that going to be? Is Rashawn Gary, going to be the beast that they're paying him to be? I just don't know where I feel. And again, if Jair Alexander is gone, who's going to be that cornerback? Who's going to be that dominant guy? Is Keyshawn Nixon going to be, is he going to be like the top guy in coverage? There are so many more questions, again, that I have for this defense that I just can't pinpoint them, this is exactly where they need to fix. I feel like they do need to fix a lot of different gaps right now in this defense.
The Green Bay Packers, in my opinion, did not get closer to going better than 1-5 in the division. And I'll tell you why next. This is ESPN Wisconsin Draft Day across ESPN Wisconsin.
We're back after this on ESPN Wisconsin Draft Week, presented by American Family Insurance. All day, every day, the Carbless talk and text line is open for you.
First off, there is not one team that's on the fringe that scares me.
800-990-3776. The Carbless talk and text line. This is more.
When you're high, you feel different. Pretty obvious, right? You think different, talk different, but if you feel different, you drive different. So if you're high, just don't drive. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
At Potawatomi, where ways to win are endless, another chance to capture epic cash and prizes comes Friday, June 27th. It's the season finale blockbuster drawings. Watch your entries from Enchanted Spins, Unreal Treasures, and Boundless Bounty come together for drawings where $300,000 in cash and prizes is there for the taking. Be there to win your share. June 27th only at Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Milwaukee. More info online. Must be 21 years old to play.
Hey, it's Brad Nortman, and I've got to tell you about my go-to car wash, Tsunami Express. Get your ride looking its best and ride the wave at Tsunami Express Car Wash, Milwaukee's fan favorite for that perfect shine. Sign up for a monthly membership and enjoy unlimited washes for less than $1 a day. Skip the wait with the fast lane and take advantage of great perks. With locations in Midtown Milwaukee, Waukesha, Greenfield, Oak Creek, and Mount Pleasant, Tsunami Express has you covered. Tsunami Express Car Wash. Wash, chill, repeat. Visit TsunamiExpress.com to learn more.
Oh my gosh, Allie, did you look at Janet's roof? Ugh, it's so flat. It looks like one of those roofing contractor commercials. Who even understands those roofing guys anyways?
I like flat roofs and I cannot lie. You other contractors can't deny. TPO way up high. I'm hooked and I can't stop staring.
If you want a roof that's worth staring at, Avondale Roofing is where you go. Your roofing experts for over 30 years. AvondaleRoofing.com.
Escape the city and relax at Lake Lawn Resort in beautiful Delavan, Wisconsin. Enjoy outdoor activities on Delavan Lake. Tee off at the lakeside Majestic Oaks Golf Course or unwind at the award-winning Calidora Spa. With both indoor and outdoor pools, there's fun for the whole family. Take a cruise on the Lake Lawn Queen. Explore stunning shores and historic landmarks and enjoy delicious food and drinks on board. Book your stay today at lakelawnresort.com, where everything is better at the lake.
Wisconsin is still cattle country, and that's why Bunzel's chose to stay close to home to hand select the finest beef. Quality goes into everything they do, from Bunzel's expansive array of meats, homemade specialty sausages, and their award-winning beef jerky. It just isn't a proper holiday meal without Bunzel's top quality cuts on the dinner table. Tasting is believing. Visit Bunzel's at 90th and Burleigh or bunzels.com.
Let's talk about home turf. Your lawn is a reflection of your pride, hard work, and even competitive spirit. If you want a yard that makes the neighbors stop and stare, you need the right plan. That's where Weedman Lawn Care comes in. Weedman's lawn care program is kid and pet friendly, uses golf course quality fertilizer, and has an effective weed treatment to dominate any issue. Get a free quote of Weedman's winning formula for your yard at weedman.com and get 50% off your first treatment. That's weedman.com. Weedman for the win.
Home practice is about to begin. Your daughter's new tap shoes? Loud. Your son's new tuba? Louder. But you got this. Just like Associated Bank's got you with $50 overdraft grace zone. So if you lose track of expenses buying some noise-canceling and sanity-saving headphones, we've got your back. You got this with $50 overdraft grace zone from Associated Bank. See associatedbank.com/checking or ask a banker for details. Member FDIC.
Don't miss a second of ESPN Wisconsin Draft Week, presented by American Family Insurance. Download the brand new ESPN Wisconsin app today and stay on top of it all.
In my mind, of Lambeau Field, and I love Lambeau Field because the king of the North, the best quarterback in the NFC North, Caleb Williams, is undefeated at Lambeau Field.
That's glorious.
They're bringing out WWE superstars.
Hell yeah, brother.
Oh yeah, brother. That was last night to announce one of the second-round picks for the Chicago Bears. And I think that he did a great job. He maybe even rivaled Brian Gutekunst in the excitement and the energy that he drew from the crowd. I thought that was one of the best moments live from the draft pit, we'll call it. You know, you've got your mosh pit at concerts. I was at the draft pit for that one, and people were jarred by that. They were screaming, they were hooting, they were hollering as the Bears selected whoever is going to be mediocre and out of the league in the next
Luther
couple years.
Burden? Did you just believe that Luther Burden is going to be mediocre?
If the Green Bay Packers drafted him, he would not be a top 2 receiver they've drafted this year.
That guy is going to be a Swiss Army knife for the Chicago Bears. You better watch out, and you better not cry.
This is ESPN Wisconsin Draft Day. We're live from the shadow of Lambeau Field across ESPN Wisconsin. We're presented by American Family Insurance. Pablo Iglesias, notorious Bears fan from the Chicago area.
That's me, baby.
Listen, do you feel like the Bears got better?
I want to watch more tape on Loveland. I believe that Madison Hayes, our teammate out here, she definitely has the reaction video of me when Colston Loveland here at the Tundra Trio. I think my jaw dropped. And Alex Strofe, who was in live coverage at the time too, looked straight at me, and I was just in awe. I really thought it was going to be Tyler Warren. Listen, I also had a conversation with our Sportsmanlike team, Chris Canty. Really excited to meet him. I think, if anything, he got me really on board on the Ashton Genty train too. And I just knew it had to have been I'll believe it when I see it. But then I get a push notification saying that ESPN Bet suddenly has Ashton Genty as the favorite to go to the Chicago, or as the Bears to be the favorite to land Ashton Genty, and I'm just like, I don't want to buy into the hype. I don't want to buy into the hype, and then I know I'm setting myself up for disappointment, and lo and behold, look what happened. I set myself up for disappointment. But you know what? We go to yesterday with with getting the WWE introduction for the Bears, why not? Let's do it. I said the exact same thing earlier. If you're going to do the pomp and circumstance with Mark Murphy doing that for the Packers, the Chicago Bears, you're going to break out the Bears still suck type of thing or the Bears still stink, whatever. You want to do that? Well, hey, the Bears know that they're in enemy territory. They're going to own it. They're going to own it. They're going to go up there. They're going to go up to the podium. Rise to the occasion. You want to be the enemy? Do it. Let's do it. We'll be the villain.
And Seth Rollins is, he's the kind of guy who in the WWE he can work a crowd, and he knew how to do it. He did a fantastic job, better than the Bears have done in quite some time, in my opinion, but that's just me. Now, the Bears did come into Lambeau and beat the Green Bay Packers. Now, it was a ragtag squad of backups for the Green Bay Packers at that point, but it does beg the question, are the Packers any closer today than they were before of winning the division? Now, last year they went 1-5 in the division. They probably could have gone 2-0, but they were also a blocked kick away from going 0-6, which is just, that would have been hard. That would have been tough to stomach as a Packers fan. And I think that the Packers will probably beat the Vikings a little bit more. They don't have Sam Darnold at the helm. They've got a quarterback who hasn't played in quite some time. They've got someone who really doesn't have any tape in the NFL, so we don't know what they're going to look like. But did they get any closer to beating the Minnesota Vikings, who have drafted the most the Detroit Lions, who have drafted the most Detroit Lions players they possibly could have, with Tyleik Williams, Tate Ratledge, and Isaac Tesla. I don't know if I'm saying that, but Tesla. And these guys are, bite your ankle kind of guys. The mustache and mullet on Tate Ratledge alone tells me what I need to know. So we put it out on the field. Did the Packers get any closer to winning the NFC North after days 1 and 2 of the NFL draft? Pablo, you have the early results from that poll?
Early results right now. I'm actually pretty shocked right now. It's so far it's yes. Yes is the majority. A lot of Packers fans feeling pretty confident right now.
Why
that
are
after
you
the first
shocked?
two. I just do feel like that. I don't want to fall into the lore of that this offense again. This is exactly how I felt last season. That the Packers offense looked good on paper, and then you add Josh Jacobs. That's awesome. And Josh Jacobs ended up being a true workhorse for this offense, but the wide receiver group fell short. You didn't really invest too much in the wide receiver because of how you felt that they did in Dallas. They came up short in San Francisco in that playoff run, don't get me wrong, but it felt like that. It's like, okay, well, we're good where we're at, so we're just going to run it back with the same unit, maybe add a couple pieces here and there. But it's I feel like from an offensive standpoint, you did address some places where you needed to address. You got an extra offensive lineman and you got 2 good wide receivers. But defensively, where did you get better? How do you feel confident in this group where you address one position group, but that's it? You're not just going to win just solely off of that. I don't know how good I feel about that defensive squad, and that's just where my hesitations lie right now. Is that will they attack the defensive side of the ball today? And I really hope that that's the case.
Well,
although
I think they're going to. And honestly, with where the strength of this draft lied, I'm not even opposed to them trading out of the end of this draft for next year's draft picks. I know that feels weird, but I don't know if you're going to get an impactful player who's going to come in and start immediately, specifically on this Green Bay Packers team where there's so much draft capital and so much money being invested on the defensive side of the ball. The place where I feel the most confident about the Green Bay Packers at this point on the defensive side is the linebacker position, which feels ridiculous to say, but they've got 2 studs there. And listen, Quay Walker has some work to do. This is a big prove-it year, but I expect someone as athletic as him and someone who's taken the strides that he has to step up one more time this season, which could be really good. I mean, he has all of the athletic ability to be a top 5 linebacker in the league. But the offensive line and the cornerback position is where you need help, and that's the place where you're spending the most money. But I really like what Miserable Goat, which, I don't know exactly where that comes from, but Miserable Goat in the ESPN Milwaukee YouTube chat says Chicago isn't trying to be the same old Bears anymore. If we think we're going to win from just showing up, it's not going to happen. And I think that as a Bears fan, you can probably take some pride in that, Pablo.
Oh, I love it.
But I think that it's a very real situation, right? The games against the Packers and Bears both times were just absolute fights all the way through and through, and the Packers can't rest on their laurels anymore, and they have to tighten things up defensively, which it looks like it's going to have to come from inside the room right now, but I don't know if offense is really what the team has needed to win in the division so far.
Gee, I do feel like it's a good time to bring in the blitz onto you too, not just for me as the Bears fan, but also Will over at the One Call That's All studio at ESPN Milwaukee. He's also a huge Bears fan too, and I know that during the Thursday reaction show, they went straight to Will's reaction for the Colton Loveland draft pick, and I think, hey, Will, correct me if I'm wrong. How are you feeling about the Bears over these last couple days?
Yeah, that reaction was actually AI. Colson Loveland was my number one draft prospect this entire draft.
AI's getting better and better these days, huh?
Oh, boy.
Yeah, I do like it, though. At first, obviously, I was expecting to hear the Tyler Warren name come across, Roger Goodell, but it feels like Ben Johnson, when he had the pick at it, he just took his guy, and he runs the most 12-man personnel out of any NFL head coach. So it seems like it fits into his scheme. As far as the NFC North, though, I think an interesting thing to think about is the team that got worse this offseason, and that was the Lions, losing Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn. I think that puts the Packers in a better spot this year going into the 2025-2026 season.
So, Will, after today, or after yesterday, we still have the 3 rounds to go, but none of the NFC North teams have a ton of picks remaining. Who do you think is the front runner to win the NFC North next year?
I still think it's the Lions. If Dan Campbell had the ability to bring in Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn, those two spectacular coordinators the first time, he definitely can do it again. But I think the Packers adding to that offense is very interesting. It makes them competitors with them. It makes it closer. But I think they need to add, like we've been saying all show, to that defense at the cornerback and the edge position specifically.
Which is crazy because those are the 2 position groups that are the highest paid on the team and have the most first-round picks. Will, one last question for you on a Bears front. Do you think that the Bears are getting closer to getting out of the basement of the NFC North?
Yeah, I think they are. And it was a very interesting offseason, too, because the past couple ones we've seen where they've added the new shiny Lamborghini, the new wide receiver, the DJ Moore, the Caleb Williams. And this offseason, it's just been grit down in the trenches, getting those offensive linemen and defensive linemen, and it's clear that they're changing their ways. So I think that makes it a lot more interesting in the NFC North.
The other thing to bounce off of this too with Colton Loveland is I don't know if it was the AI reaction. Like I said, AI is getting a lot better out here. If that was Will's reaction, but Colton Loveland too. I do need to think about this, and Will makes a great point with Ben Johnson. He clearly has to be the guy in that room with Ryan Poles, and it's like, this is the guy that we need to go with. And to Ben Johnson's credit, too, not only is he a fantastic offensive mind, he was also a former tight ends coach, too. So not only is he – I don't know what it would have looked like with Tyler Warren, the Penn State guy, but Colton Loveland, I'm going to very much believe that Ben Johnson, I'm going to back him up. If I was the guy saying, you got to get Ben Johnson, you got to go after him, and if this is the guy as also a former tight ends coach, too,
oh yeah,
not just a former OC that was fantastic with the Lions, you know what, I'm going to believe it. I'm going to jump on the hype train. I think, too, if anything, even though the Bears are in the cellar, a 5-12 team, they were the best 5-12 team last season. Look at the games that they lost in that losing streak, though, too. 5 of those games were within 1 possession.
It reminds me a little bit of the first year that Matt LaFleur came over. He took over for the Green Bay Packers. They went 13-3. It was shocking, and it was the first time I'd ever gone viral on Twitter. I tweeted out a picture of Jack Sparrow from the Pirates of the Caribbean wearing a cheese hat that says, we may be the worst 13-3 team you've ever heard of, but at least you've heard of us. Kind of that quote that he has. And it went viral. And that team really was a pretty bad 13-3 team. They got blown out in the playoffs, whatever. Maybe there's some validity to that. They were a 5-12 team. The Chicago Bears were, but they were pretty good. There's a lot to be worried about for the Green Bay Packers in terms of what's happening in the NFC North. But if you're worried, maybe I can recommend a friend of ours over at Higher Love. Whether you're watching every pick or just there for the party, Higher Love has everything you need to elevate your draft experience. As the best in the Midwest, Higher Love offers the largest selection of organic, clean green certified products at an unbeatable value, making them the can't-miss top pick. Higher Love in Menominee, just an hour from Green Bay, right across the Wisconsin border. Score big at Higher Love in Menominee and get 25% off in-store or online with code ESPN Draft. Hurry, the offer ends April 28th. Visit higherlove.com/CBD today. This is ESPN Wisconsin Draft Day live from the shadow of Lambeau Field.
More coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin Draft Week, presented by American Family Insurance.
This wasn't how Patrick here in Milwaukee pictured himself in retirement. Instead of playing golf every day, he could barely walk because of severe knee pain.
It hampered everything because it hurt to walk around the golf course. It hurt to swing, just pretty much hurt doing anything.
But the groundbreaking regenerative treatments at QC Kinetics changed everything for Patrick. QC Kinetics uses your body's own healing properties to help repair and restore damaged tissue in your knees, hips, back, and shoulders. No surgery, no drugs, no downtime.
The turnaround's been amazing from where I was to where I am now. I've gone from a 15 handicap down to a 7 handicap. That's because my knees allow me to play golf like I haven't been able to play probably in 15 years.
Don't let joint pain keep you from doing what you love. Call QC Kinetics today for your complimentary consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. 414-285-3474.
Are you ready to win some real cash during the basketball playoffs? It's time for you to check out Pick 6 from DraftKings. Hey, it's Alex Rowe. When it comes to basketball payouts, DraftKings Pick 6 posterizes the competition, including all other daily fantasy options. It's easy. Download the Pick 6 app in your app store and make at least 2 selections by clicking more or less on player projections. Hit all your picks and score higher minimum payouts on Pick 6, plus even more cash if you outscore the competition. Pick 6 is available in most states, including right here in Wisconsin, California, Texas, Georgia, and more. And you can pick on anything: basketball, baseball, golf, and more. Download the DraftKings Pick 6 app now and use code WKTI. That's code WKTI. For new customers to play $5, get $50 in Pick 6 credits. Better payouts, bigger wins, only with Pick 6 from DraftKings. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Must be 18 plus. Age and eligibility restrictions vary by jurisdiction. Void where prohibited. One per new customer. Bonus awarded is non-withdrawable Pick 6 credits that expire in 14 days. Limited time offer. See terms at pick6.draftkings.com/promos.
The only thing that tops our selection is your savings discount liquor.
Ever notice how wine enthusiasts often speak a completely different language? And while that language may technically be English, to most people it's anything but. Hi, this is Marie from Discount Liquor, where we stock over 8,000 varieties of wine and speak many dialects of wine English to help everyone, from the wine novice to the master sommelier. So if you need an expert recommendation for wine, or maybe you know what you want and simply need help locating it, our experienced staff has got your back. No matter the budget, occasion, or your level of wine expertise, Discount Liquor will make you feel at home. Discount Liquor, unmatched selection, everyday low prices, a helpful staff, and 2 convenient locations. In Milwaukee on 51st and Oklahoma, and in downtown Waukesha on Barstow and Maine.
Discount Liquor.
Bev Anderson has a big idea she wants to share.
Bev has been here for 24 years.
Hi, Bev. We're anxious to hear your idea.
Kessler's is 45 years old this year. Monica, remember when your dad used to say in every radio ad, "I'm Richard Kessler, and I want to be your jeweler"?
I never got to hear that.
Yeah, and then Rick would say,
Kessler's Diamonds, inconveniently located on Appleton Avenue, Menominee Falls.
Inconveniently?
Richard said it was inconvenient for people to have to drive all the way to Menominee Falls, so he might as well admit it.
Bev, tell us your idea.
Richard said something else in almost every ad, and I think we should start saying it again because it's really important.
Tell us.
We do diamonds better because diamonds are what we do.
I love that.
Fantastic idea, Bev.
Kessler's Diamonds.
We do diamonds better because diamonds are what we do.
For the location nearest you, visit KesslersDiamonds.com.
You're listening to ESPN Wisconsin Draft Week, presented by American Family Insurance on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Pablo Iglesias, Alex Gravatt, live from the shadow of Lambeau Field, where we're, for the first time in a long time for me, in the same zip code as Mr. Jason Wilde, who joins us now. Jason, how you doing?
Well, we are in the same zip code. I am driving to the stadium to get ready for day 3 of the draft. But I got to be honest, had I known that, I saw Pablo multiple times. Had I known that the big G-man was going to be in town, I might have made a little greater effort to get ready faster so I can make it over there. So now I'm kind of disappointed, frankly, in myself.
Well, we can rectify this. Just get me a press pass. I'll come join you in all of the official business that you're doing in Lambeau Field. It'd be great.
All right, let me talk to the powers that be, but I'm going to work you. This ain't no Jesse Nelson assignment. You're going to have to work.
Okay, that's very reasonable. I might opt out on that one, as it is a Saturday and I'm already working. But, Jason, I want to get right to it. There's a 40-yard dash timer outside of Lambeau Field. Have you partaken yet?
I have not. I was just thinking about this, actually, as I'm driving through my beautiful city. I have not taken part in really any aspect of this draft any differently than if it was in Chicago or Nashville or Detroit. So I haven't done that. I haven't gone out there and said, hey, I am Corey Sparks. I am Pablo Iglesias. I'm kicking a 30-yard field goal. I haven't done that. I haven't eaten at the dive bar, supper club, whatever they built inside the fence. I have not done any of those things other than a bunch of radio, a bunch of YouTube, a bunch of TV, and a bunch of writing. So I hope you're going to do that. I hope you're going to do all those things before you leave.
Well, we thank you for your contributions to the ESPN Wisconsin ecosphere, as it's been helpful having a guy on the inside. And I don't believe anyone's talked to you yet since last night's presser. And so I want to just hear, what was your takeaway after day 2 of the draft from Gutekunst and those guys about the guys that they got?
Yeah, first of all, you don't have to thank me for my contributions to the ecosphere. That is my job. So they pay me, which I appreciate. But look, I thought Goody's admission at the top of our conversation with him was great. I didn't think I'd be standing up here talking about taking 2 wide receivers, right? I mean, Savion Williams, for him to be the 3rd-round pick, when they do have, whether Goody will acknowledge them or not, other needs, particularly on the defensive side of the ball, I thought that was really interesting. And I did think that underscores the fact that if there is a wide disparity among prospects on your board in terms of how you have them graded, and they had Williams graded highly enough that they would have taken him, they took him at 87 in the 3rd round. They talked about him at 54, which was where they took Anthony Belton. So they saw that as a great value. I think they love the diversified skill set that he has. There were comparisons being made to Cordero Patterson, who can return, he can catch, he can run out of the backfield, he can do jet sweeps. Like they don't have a puzzle piece like that. So that I can see why they're intrigued by him. But then my next thought was, and look, I always want to underscore this, Jordan Love doesn't make excuses. Jordan Love doesn't blame the play caller. He doesn't blame the guys that dropped 33 passes on him. He doesn't blame the injuries. I know that there are some Jordan Love stands that do that on his behalf in the fan base. But he is not an excuse maker. It's one of the many things I like about him. But when you add yet another offensive lineman, very high in the draft after taking one in the 1st round a year ago, when you add 2 more wide receivers, when you've got the tight ends that they've got, there's not a lot of room for excuse making for the head coach and offensive play caller and for the quarterback if this offense doesn't start taking jumps. They keep talking about, guys that they have already that they believe are poised to really have, big seasons.
Hey, Jason, I think we're losing you for a moment. So we're going to let you go and call back, see if we can get you sounding a little bit better. Your connection's a little spotty at the moment. But I think that's a really good point that Jason brought up, that they felt they couldn't get past these two guys in the spots that they drafted them in a draft that everyone tends to believe is really strong on the pass rusher and defensive side, specifically in rounds 2 and 3. It's tricky for me, but I guess I do hear what he's saying, that Gutekunst had a lot of faith in these two guys.
Yeah, it does make sense, too, because I've seen Jordan Love over the last few years, and no, he has not been a guy who's made excuses. He's been a guy who wants to take on those leadership reins, whether it's, even if Matt LaFleur says, hey, I want you to be a little bit more of a vocal leader, I want you to be a guy who speaks up in this locker room. But even then, guys are always backing up Jordan Love in this Packers locker room, saying that he's working hard, he's a guy that leads by example, he's never been somebody who's going to throw anyone under the bus. It's never given off that vibe, even if there is a situation where he throws a dime and somebody drops the ball. The Packers, it's not like Jordan Love is trying to, it's not like he can catch all the balls that he throws either. So, I mean, hey, the Packers did lead the league in drop passes, or were one of the top teams that did drop a lot of passes in the league last year. So he is a guy that Jason said he's not a guy that makes up a lot of excuses.
And it sounds like we've got Jason back. Jason, thanks for working through that with us.
Anything for Pablo. For you,
That's fair.
I did
better?
like Robot Jason, though, too. That was pretty cool. Robot Jason was pretty fun.
Yes, I always like to think of myself as Optimus Prime, or maybe who's the guy in the first movie that gets like torn in half by the bad Transformer?
No.
Me.
Not Beetle, not the bug.
No,
whatever.
Bumblebee.
Jazz?
Was it Bumblebee? No.
Jazz.
I think it's Jazz.
Autobots
anyway,
roll
it's sad
out.
that I know that. Nice.
Impressive.
Look at you. Well done. All right, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to sidetrack us with.
I think that's
boy,
that's what all the esteemed listeners want
Megan
here.
Fox. We can break down Megan Fox's acting skills a little bit later.
Is she still with Machine Gun Kelly?
No, they broke up.
Okay. Sorry, I just had to make sure that we were on the same page on that. Jason,
so she is available.
Okay.
Just so you.
Well, I'm not.
Still on the board.
Still on the board in the fourth round.
Best
yes,
player
just
available.
Her and Shedeur
Best
Sanders.
available. Megan Fox and Shedeur Sanders.
But Jason, you were telling us that Jordan Love is not an excuse maker. He has a lot of confidence. He has the confidence of the locker room. But I'm not super worried about him in the offensive side of the football right now. What I'm more worried about is this defensive front going to be able to hang with the talent that Detroit has and the talent that it looks like Chicago's trying to build?
Yeah, it's a good question, and I think there's a couple of different layers to it. First of all, I'm very curious to see how the NFC North evolves this season, because it is a season of transition, right? Minnesota transitioning from Sam Darnold, who had a fantastic season, not very good last two games, but certainly a fantastic season, to J.J. McCarthy, who not only did not take a single snap as a rookie first-round pick last year, he couldn't even take snaps during the season because he was on season-ending injured reserve. So he didn't even get to practice last year. It's a little bit like Jordan Love, who was inactive for all the games in his rookie season in 2020, but at least he got some work in practice, not as much because he wasn't even the number 2 quarterback that year. So there's transition there. There's obviously transition with the Lions because they lost both of their coordinators, Aaron Glenn and Ben Johnson, to head coaching jobs. So is Dan Campbell and his kneecap biting still as effective if he has different people in charge of each side of the ball? And then you mentioned the Bears. I mean, I don't know what to make of the Bears, right? They're doing everything they can, kind of like the Packers did the first 2 days, to really give their young quarterback everything he needs to succeed. But again, there was some inconsistency there, but I think with that new head coach and Ben Johnson, I think that they're trending in the right direction at long last, which is obviously great news for Jim Rutledge. The bottom line, though, is the Packers, Goody is putting his draft picks kind of where his mouth is, but in the opposite direction, because he could have gone out and drafted a defensive player, a pass rusher, a corner during one of these 3 picks, or traded back when he had some opportunities to do so to accumulate some extra picks. And instead he went wide receiver, offensive lineman, wide receiver. And he has said multiple times, and said so again last night, that he believes that up front they have the guys already in the building to be effective rushing the passer with 4. Now we got to find out if he's right or wrong, because as of now, that's exactly who they have rushing the passer.
It's just interesting to think about, yeah, because it is cool. It is good to see that. Yeah, as you said, being a man of the word and getting the receivers. Jason, I want to switch gears too, and we talked about this a little earlier, is that the Packers have, especially Goody, has had a really good history in the later rounds of getting those defensive diamond in the roughs. I mean, do you feel like that's what that's what the Packers are lining themselves up for today?
Well, it's certainly the thing that the Packers are going to have to hope occurs today.
Yes,
right?
That's true.
I mean, you haven't done anything to upgrade. Now, I did think it was interesting when we were talking with Goody earlier this week. He did characterize 4th-round picks as premium picks. Now, I think that's debatable, but I think if you look back on Goody's history, and if you really look back on Ted Thompson's history, they have gotten some premium players in that round, right? I mean, Josh Sitton, T.J. Lang, David Bakhtiari, they have done a really good job of mining those picks for really good players. You look at Carrington Valentine, who, as you know, Pablo, did an event with Strofe at the Tundra Trio the other day. Like, for a 7th-round pick, I'm not putting him in the Donald Driver, Mark Tauscher class yet of all-time great 7th-round picks, but he's in the mix. He's headed that direction, and I think they really believe in him. I think that's one of the reasons why they didn't feel compelled to reach for a cornerback over the last 2 days. So I think, Pablo, your assessment is correct, but what is it that I haven't checked my 401k lately, and that's probably a good thing. But I'm not like Johnny Investor, like the girls and Charles Robinson, their godfather / uncle, do this investing thing as their little bonding deal. But I'm not wise in that. But what's the old saying about investment? Past performance is not an indicator of future results. So just because Goody has had the success that he's had with those late picks doesn't necessarily mean that that's going to be the case again.
I do my family bonding with my uncle. He takes me climbing. I'm glad that that's our thing. Investing seems a little bit less engaging for me, but maybe that's just because I have a short attention span. Jason, you mentioned all of these awesome 4th-round picks that they've gotten in the past, and every name you mentioned was an offensive lineman. They went out and got a really just monster of a man, somebody who I know a lot of people are excited about in Anthony Belton. But from what I saw, Mel Kiper had him slotted as a potential 4th-round pick, and they got him in the 2nd. Now, I could be wrong in terms of where he was projected to fall, but he fell to the Packers at that point. It just doesn't make a ton of sense to me that now he's going to be competing with Rasheed Walker, who's been good, and Jordan Morgan, who is a 1st-round pick for playing time when the whole mantra of the offseason was urgency.
All right, thank you. Sorry, my new best friend at the parking lot. I always got to say hi to him.
They've been getting a lot of airtime this week.
Yeah.
They have. Well, I've been back and forthing a lot. At least the good news is, A, I'm not chauffeuring Tausch today, and B, I am shutting down my vehicle, which I failed to do a couple days ago. And it ran for, as people have enjoyed, 11 hours in the parking lot.
Efficient.
Yeah. Paula really got a kick out of that. She said that they're not going to leave the because they've been in Madison. They're walking around the square right now. They said that they're not going to leave me alone anymore because they're worried next time they're going to have to issue a silver alert. So, to answer your question about Belton, and look, I love Mel Kiper. He's been a friend to our show. Tausch knows him really well. Anytime I need something, he helps me out. So I have a ton of respect for him. If you feel a butt coming, there's a reason for that. Like if he were to call me and say, "Hey, Jason, what did you think of how I did during the draft?" I said, you just can't get that emotional. You can say that you think the league is wrong on Shedeur Sanders, but like it's been hard to watch. Let me put it that way. And it's not just him. So it's possible he's wrong on Belton too. But I'll tell you this, he's not the only one who saw Belton the way he did. Dane Brugler from The Athletic, who does, in my opinion, the most comprehensive draft preview, felt the same way. Fourth-round pick-ish. I saw a lot of people say that he's kind of a plodding big guy. I have to admit, I have not broken down a lot of North Carolina State offensive line tape, so I don't know that. But the bottom line is that they picked him, and they've already said that the competition at left tackle is going to remain Jordan Morgan and Rasheed Walker. So he's not even going to go there. It's the only position he's played in college. So that he's going to be another conversion guy. And I would also say that I think he's a pick for next year guy. Because remember, and Goody said you don't think about this in the moment of when you're drafting, but that you certainly know about it as you're going into the draft. Rasheed Walker, Zach Tom, Sean Ryan, all free agents after this season. Also at wide receiver, obviously, Christian Watson and Romeo Doubs. So I do think that kind of stuff is part of it, and so I think they're picking Belton in part because they're going to need offensive line changes down the road. That's going to be an evolving position. But that said, I agree with you. Like I kind of gave to the everything I read, and yeah, he's a mammoth dude. He's hard to get around, but it's not like you have to have the feet, you have to have the athleticism, and the Packers think he does. But it's kind of like when I was young and I thought, why don't hockey teams just put the biggest, fattest guy in the goal? So there's such tiny little space to shoot it past him, right? Like they kept talking about how hard it is to get around Belton because he's such a mammoth guy. That's great, and that is part of the deal. But there's more to it than that. And so if they're right about him, and he's got really good feet and really good athleticism, then he's going to be a really good player. If Mel and Dane and the other folks that watched him and think he's a plotter are right, then it doesn't matter how big he is because sometimes the bigger they are, the harder they fall.
Jason, interesting to think about that. Pablo Iglesias, Alex Yervat, talking to Jason Wilde here. This is ESPN Wisconsin Draft Day as we are here at the Tundra Trio right outside of Lambeau Field. NFL Draft, getting ready for Day 3, too. Jason, we were talking about this in the show as well with the Packers having, as exciting as it is to have Savion Williams and Matthew Golden that they took in the first round, the Packers right now have 9 receivers on the roster. What do you think is the most intriguing thing coming into whether it's rookie mini camp or training camp right after that or not too far after? What intrigues you the most about this team having 9 guys in that position group?
9 guys. Yeah, it's pretty wild, right? I mean, to think about how much they've invested in that position, especially when you look at the fact that they went into the 2022 season with Alan Lazard as their number 1 wide receiver. Right? I mean, they drafted 3 wide receivers that year. They drafted 3 more wide receivers the following year. 2 of those guys are already gone. That were 7th-round picks, Grant DuBose and Samori Toure. But look, that is a colossal investment. Again, there are going to be guys that don't get re-signed. I think Goody has been very clear that he has this mentality of we're just going to keep replenishing positions, and we're not going to pay guys exorbitant amounts on second or certainly third contracts. So, look, one of my favorite guys in that locker room is Bo Melton. I don't think it's been a good 2 days for Bo.
No.
And he's a great teammate. He's an awesome dude. But they've got some pretty big capital investments now at wide receiver. Now, Golden, who runs even faster than Christian Watson, will give them a speed element, which is great. I think we'll see what Savion Williams is, obviously. It sounds like he's got all kinds of versatility, and there isn't a guy right now that they have that is like him. But to me, this year is all about Romeo Doubs playing at a top flight level so he can get paid by someone else. I think he can earn himself a ton of money if he has a really good year and then the Packers don't re-sign him, which is what my instinct tells me, that they're willing to work through the concussions if he's going to be able to get past those. I just think you lose trust when a guy is so disgruntled in his own mind and so unfairly treated that he doesn't show up for work. So I don't know. Maybe they can forgive him. Maybe he gets an extension. I don't think he will. So now that's one guy off the equation. There's Christian Watson with his lack of availability till November, and then who knows what the future holds for him. And then you've got two guys that are in their third seasons that didn't pop to the degree that we thought in year 2. Will they do that in year 3? Will Dontavion Wicks, who seems to be open like Quick Trip 24/7, is he going to actually catch balls more consistently? He did in the second half of last season. One of the things that people rip him for about the drops, he actually got a heck of a lot better in the second half. He fixed that. Whereas Jaden Reed, who still led them in receptions and yards, disappeared in the second half of the season, or at least the final third of the season. So that feels like a position to me, Pablo, that has still a lot of question marks, despite the fact that they got that many guys on the roster.
All right, Jason, the Wilde and Tausch likelihood has really bled into the show. Our clock management not so hot. Last thing for you before we let you go. Is there anything in particular that you think fans should really be watching out for? I mean, when we look at the top 30 visits, it's been all defense or offensive linemen down at the bottom of the draft, a couple cornerbacks. But is there anything that we should be looking for today?
Well, here's my weird question. How far does Shedeur Sanders have to fall before Brian Gutekunst would think about taking him?
Well, he was the best player available. We couldn't say no at that cost.
Right. So my old friend Bill Johnson, who used to host Green and Gold Today with me way back when you guys were in diapers, brought that to my attention this morning. And look, and that is not me predicting Shedeur Sanders is going to be a Packer. But that's obviously going to be the narrative on the shows, on the coverage, is where is he going to end up today? Where will he land? To me, the narrative for the Packers is how are they going to up, and it goes back to the point that Pablo made earlier, or maybe it was you, Alex. I don't want to give credit where it's not due.
Capital J.
Whoever it was that said the diamond's in the rough, it was you, Pablo, right? On the defensive side.
He's a joke guy.
That is true. They have done a very good job of that. Kingsley Enagbare was a 4th-round pick, and I would argue he was their most consistent pass rusher last season. And he was a day 3 pick. So to me, that is the storyline. And if you'll go to Channel 3000 later today, I'm sure that's what you'll see is no credit for Pablo for the storyline, but that might very well, depending on how the board falls, that could very well be the story.
All right, Jason, thanks so much for your time, and go get in the war room.
I'm going to go get food in the food room first, and then I'll worry about the war room. So
Nacho bar from what I saw.
Be good.
Take care. Thanks so much, Jason. That was Jason Wilde. You can hear him 9 to noon every weekday morning right here on ESPN Wisconsin. But we got to get to break because we've been terrible about time management. This is ESPN Wisconsin Draft Day.
We're back after this on ESPN Wisconsin Draft Week, presented by American Family Insurance. The 2015 Wisconsin men's hoops team gave us all a march to remember.
There will be no undefeated champion on Wisconsin with an unbelievable stretch drive to the championship game.
On June 26th, enjoy an intimate celebration with the stars of the run with Made 'em Believe. Presented by M3 Insurance. World-class expertise and individual attention. Tickets are on sale now at uwhoops2015.com. Made 'em Believe, June 26th at the Orpheum Theater in Madison.
Whether tailgating or hosting at home, don't serve boring, bland food. As the official grill of the Green Bay Packers, Pit Boss brings the heat with a wide range of wood pellet grills, smokers, and hardwood pellet fuel. Reach another level of flavor that can't be achieved with a charcoal or gas grill, and it's beyond easy. Seriously, Pit Boss grills get cooking with just a few simple steps. Grill, smoke, bake, roast, braise, char grill, barbecue, and direct flame sear. The all-in-one Pit Boss does it all. Learn more today at pitboss-grills.com.
My house has a new glow. I love my windows. Universal Windows Direct.
Hey, it's Kyle Wallace right now. Buy 2 windows, get 2 free. No limit. Pay no interest until 2030 plus $500 off your home improvement project. Restrictions apply. Call 414-410-2000.
I love my windows. They've got that brand new home effect. Universal Windows Direct.
Drum roll, please.
Carbliss is here with refreshing new flavors. Introducing their Tropical Bliss Variety Pack. Let the summertime flavors of blood orange, watermelon, raspberry, and grapefruit whisk you away from the winter blues. New flavors, same great Carbliss perks. Every handcrafted cocktail still has 0 sugar, 0 carbs, and just 100 calories. Find the Tropical Bliss Variety Pack in store wherever Carbliss is sold and enjoy your winter passport to paradise. Grab a pack today and discover why Bliss is more with Carbliss.
Hey, this is Mike from Infinity Exteriors. Buying a roof, siding, or windows can feel overwhelming. Hidden costs, confusing contracts. We don't play that game. We educate you so that you can decide. And when you know the facts, Infinity Exteriors is the clear choice. Since 1997, we've installed peace of mind with no surprise upcharges, flexible budgets, and immediate financing. Infinity Exteriors, saving our communities from unscrupulous contractors. Visit infinityexteriors.com.
At Potawatomi, where ways to win are endless, another chance to capture epic cash and prizes comes Friday, June 27th. It's the season finale blockbuster drawings. Watch your entries from Enchanted Spins, Unreal Treasures, and Boundless Bounty come together for drawings where $300,000 in cash and prizes is there for the taking. Be there to win your share. June 27th only at Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Milwaukee. More info online. Must be 21 years old to play.
At Citizens Bank, community banking is you, growing your business with a partner who gets it. It's you, buying your first home with a lender who makes it easy. It's you, building a future with savings that work just as hard as you. And it's us, working together to strengthen our community. Because at Citizens Bank, community banking means you plus us. Visit us at citizensbankwi.bank. Citizens Bank is member FDIC and an equal housing lender.
It's party time at Cousins Subs. For a limited time only, Cousins 2-foot party subs are back. Choose from the ham and provolone, Italian special, or turkey. Each party sub is just $39.99. Feeds 5 to 8 people and requires 24-hour notice to order. And now you can complete your party by adding a party chip bag and a dozen chocolate chip cookies for just $4.99. Order today in store, online, or on the app. Cousins Subs. We believe in better.
This is ESPN Wisconsin Draft Week, presented by American Family Insurance on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
The 4th round of the NFL Draft, Day 3, kicks off with a former Wisconsin Badger. I'm Alex Grad alongside Pablo Iglesias in the shadow of Lambeau Field. This is ESPN Wisconsin Draft Day, presented by American Family Insurance. And Pablo, Chimere Dike, a 4-year player at Wisconsin, drafted. What are your thoughts?
I've got chills for multiple reasons. One, because we're sitting in the shadows and I have a blanket around me, but also because the Wisconsin kid, former Badger, also a right outside of the Milwaukee area too. Chimere Dike is going to the league. Such a great guy. It would have been fun to watch him just thrive the rest of the way at Wisconsin, but cool to see him take the stage on with the Florida Gators, man. So excited for him. I am sure he is not going to be the only Badger name or Badger-related name that we hear later today.
Right, and that means that the Jaguars are on the clock. Their pick is in. We don't know what they're drafting yet. Could be another Wisconsin Badger.
Hunter Wohler, or Jack. Actually, it could be Jack Nelson.
But it could be. There's very
well could
but
be.
There's
Jack
a
Nelson.
lot of things to go between now and then.
It
is not. It is Tootin out of Virginia Tech. So they've got a guy there. But Graham Mertz, former Wisconsin Badger, takes Chimere Dike down there with him in Florida, and he gets him drafted. So the first Badger off the board. We're going to be locked in with the rest of Day 3 in the NFL Draft coming up next. This is ESPN Wisconsin Draft Day across ESPN Wisconsin.
From the biggest plays on the court to the comments made in the locker room after, an in-depth recap of every Bucks game in 6 minutes. No more, no less. Bucks in 6 provides game recaps for every game. Hear the high-flying dunks from Giannis.
Puts it on the floor, spins down the lane, and plunges it through.
Or the deep threes from Dame.
Dame time has arrived with 107.
Bucks in 6 on the Bucks Plus audio network. Find it now on bucks.com/plus or on Spotify, Apple, and wherever you get your podcasts.
Here in Wisconsin, one name is synonymous with fantastic frozen pizza, Palermo's. For almost 60 years, Palermo's has focused on feeding Wisconsin families. And though Palermo's has grown a lot since 1964, they're still family-owned. They're still proud to call Milwaukee home. And they're still committed to making the best frozen pizza possible. From their new and improved Rising Crust pizzas to their guilt-free Primo Thin Pies, Palermo's has a delicious slice for every appetite. Find Palermo's in your local grocer's freezer food aisle. Palermo's. Flavor is our family's business.
Picks are made every year with the NFL Draft as each team dreams fearlessly. Let's rewind for an American Family Insurance Green Bay Dream Pick.
April 2005. Green Bay's gunslinger Brett Favre continues to perform, but the threat of retirement has general manager Ted Thompson thinking about the future. That's when Green Bay made their dream pick.
With the 24th selection in the 2005 NFL Draft, the Green Bay Packers select Aaron Rodgers, quarterback to California.
Once taking over as the starter, Rodgers' career would blossom. 147 wins, 475 touchdown passes, 4 MVPs, and 1 championship. Aaron Rodgers is on his way to a gold jacket.
Over the middle, caught, touchdown. The Lombardi Trophy is coming home.
This Green Bay Dream Pick is presented by American Family Insurance. American Family Insurance is always a great pick because their agents are there to protect your dreams. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Hey, this is Jen Latta. You're listening to 94.5 ESPN, WKTI, and WKTI HD Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
Okay, Green Bay, it's your time.
The NFL draft gets underway in Green Bay.
Look at all of these people expecting $250 million over the weekend here in Green Bay.
We need to continue to ramp up our sense of urgency.
If they're not better this year, there's going to be a lot of seats warming up.
They've needed receivers in the first round and not done it.
With the 23rd pick.
We were watching the board and just trying to do what's right for the Packers.
In the 2025 NFL Draft.
Great spin by Golden. Man, that was 24-karat Golden.
The 13-time world champion Green Bay Packers.
It was so cool, the energy that the Packer fans got, man. I could just feel it. I'm glad the organization picked. Guys are coming in and making an impact quicker, and I certainly think Matthew has the opportunity to do that.
For the first time since 2002.
On a night when they announced the pick in Green Bay, what an awesome moment.
They took Matthew Golden.
Draft a wide receiver.
Welcome to my
Texas wide receiver Matthew Golden is a Green Bay Packer.
Love the Packers getting Matthew Golden, a guy they needed.
touchdown, Matthew Golden.
Matthew Golden, wide receiver, Texas.
I don't think he's supposed to grab the podium microphone and yell to the fans after he's picked.
Welcome to my Green Bay on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Matthew Golden was picked 23 yesterday, or 2 days ago now.
Yep.
Packers have drafted another tackle and another wide receiver since then. Round 4 just got underway. Chimere Dike, former Wisconsin wide receiver, moves to finish his career in Florida, and he gets drafted today with the first pick in the 4th round. Cam Scadaboo just gets drafted to the Giants, and we are underway getting ready for the Packers' 4th round pick coming up here in just a few minutes. I want to revisit some of the polls we've been hanging out around for a couple hours. Pablo Iglesias, Alex Gravatt, live from the Tundra Trio in the shadow of Lambeau Field. This is ESPN Wisconsin Draft Day presented by Coors Light. And with the Packers drafting 2 wide receivers early in the draft, we imagine that somebody's going to have to get the boot. And so which one of these wide receivers do you think is most likely to get cut before the season? It is almost a third of the votes per wide receiver. Christian Watson, Romeo Doubs, and Dontavion Wicks. Pablo, as you see this, what are you surprised to hear that it's kind of an even split?
No, not necessarily. I do feel like that Wicks does feel like he's going to be the guy that probably doesn't make this roster. I mean, I think whoever would end up picking up is a steal. It's just hard because of how much you've invested in Christian Watson. And Jason Wilde brought up a great point, too, with Romeo Doubs of this is a prove-it season for him in a different way where, yes, he should ball out. He should hopefully, like, really show that he could take it to the next level to show to other teams because it feels like that the Packers probably will not pick up his rookie option for that 5th year. So I agree with that. As much as you want to try to keep everybody, as much as you want to try to do as much as you can to run it back across the board, it's a business too at the end of the day, and you can't do that with everybody. You got to let go of some of the assets, and especially if you're drafting 2 guys early on, with 2 of the first 3 picks you're going wide receivers, it seems like that. I'm not saying Romeo Doubs is getting pushed out the door, but he's probably going to be given a good opportunity to shine, to be the guy that we saw the flashes of over the last few years, but in order to get himself that payday with someone else.
And you know, that was one of the more interesting things that I think Jason Wilde came on and said. And Jason Wilde, if you missed any of that, he was on for a while when he wasn't sounding like Optimus Prime. And he really broke down what the Packers executives are seeing as this draft kind of falls into place, right? They didn't expect to take 2 wide receivers early on. They weren't even sure if Matthew Golden was going to drop to them in the first round. But now they have those, and they're trying to decide exactly what to do. And there's a lot of belief that the relationship between Romeo and the Packers is good enough to survive this season, but for Romeo to play himself into a lot of money somewhere else. And as a Packers fan, and specifically a Romeo fan, I think that he's a very safe, sure-handed wide receiver when you look at what they have elsewhere. That makes me a little sad, but it also opens the door for these new rookies to pop off and really fit into their own. Ryan in the 920 says, in his opinion, Watson's days are numbered in Green Bay, and that he might not be the same after the torn ACL, which is interesting. There is a potential that in order to keep Watson a part of the organization, and I do not know. This is just clear speculation, but is there a chance that he remains on the IR the entire season to allow these other guys to really develop and fill into their own, to see if maybe the team could be better off without him, or that they do in fact need his big-bodied speed?
Here is my thing to think about too, is that we do keep saying that it's like he will be available at the earliest November, at the earliest. Like that's not even a guarantee in itself too. So I wouldn't rule out that, as much as Packers don't want to see like him sit out the whole season, I can't say that who are we to really say that that's 100% guaranteed that, again, he could. It's just a could that he could be back in November at that point. So, yeah, I don't know exactly what's in line for Christian Watson's future, but it's like also what does it look like now with the 3rd-round pick that the Packers picked up in Savion Williams? Like as you said too, as an ultimate guy, you know, you're tall, you're fast, you can't teach height and you can't teach speed. So I mean that's just like what it is. As much as it hurts to have, you know, that's Christian Watson brings that height, he brings that speed. It seems like that they are loading up on speedy guys, and Savion Williams being the gadget, even though Goody didn't want to call him that. I mean, you got a few different guys who are you can't replace
versatile.
Christian Watson, but you got speed, and you got a guy who can do just about anything too.
You have speed on one hand and height on the other. But the thing that really stands out to me is all offseason we've heard and we've talked about Brian Gutekunst saying this is the year of urgency. We have urgency. That's what the Packers have this year. That is the mantra of the offseason. But we go out and the early returns are not urgency, but versatility. And I don't think that's a bad thing, but I don't know if that's necessarily an urgent pick, right? Is getting a second wide receiver this year, somebody who's versatile and an athletic playmaker, somebody who you want the ball in their hands, but maybe isn't a downfield deep threat receiver, is that really an urgent pick? No. An urgent pick would have been going and getting one of those cornerbacks who you had in on a top 30 visit. Maybe even trading up and getting a guy who you're expecting to start day one, or maybe finding somebody to challenge those pass rushers, right? Everything Goody has said is that we believe that the guys we have in-house at Lambeau Field, those are the guys who are going to develop and become dominant pass rushers. They're going to be the ones to make the difference. But there has been nothing over the last year that has proven that to be true.
You know, there's another position group that we have not even touched on. It's as successful as Josh Jacobs is. Where does the rest of the room look like?
I mean, Marshawn Lloyd is
could be good.
What, second or third round pick?
I
from
think he was
last
a
year?
third round.
Yeah, I mean he's a good running back, and you have to give him some chances. He was injured last year. I also like what they have going on in the deeper parts of that room with the free agents that have come and gone. But I just don't see a world where they address that, especially now that Cam Scadaboo is gone. If Scadaboo were available, I would have been excited, thrilled to see him. He's pulled, Christian McCaffrey comps, not because he's as good as Christian McCaffrey. That is a unique situation. He's one of one. But if you have that skill set, which is what people are saying, that's another versatile playmaker, someone who can get it done in the receiving game and the rushing game.
Yeah, Alex Strofe last night, too, during the draft reaction show, our teammate. You could hear him Monday, Wednesdays, Fridays on Mr. Irrelevant, 12:30 on ESPN Milwaukee and the ESPN Madison YouTube channels. Also, Hunter Vaughn, who is back here, too, our esteemed video producer. He is part of Mr. Irrelevant. Strofe was bringing up the point of he wasn't saying that he was extremely convinced that the Packers would grab a running back, but he wasn't ruling it out either, saying that maybe this is the competition that Marshawn Lloyd and Emmanuel Wilson might need in that running back room, because we all know clear as day Josh Jacobs obviously is the number one, but he's not going to be doing like 25, 30 carries. You're going to wear him out. You're going to wear him out by the time playoffs, because that's when you really want Josh Jacobs to shine. You want him to be ready to go. He's not going to be 100%, but as close to 100% towards playoff time. And I think you've got to make that room a little deeper, and I think Marshawn Lloyd potentially has those tools, but because of the way that the injury bug hit him last season, he's now a year behind in that development. He's now got to play some catch up. So is the right strategy get a running back today? I don't know. It just really depends on who's available. I didn't think they were going to get Cam Scadaboo anyway, but if you think it's the right opportunity for you to, one, challenge the guys, and two, add to your depth, then why not? Because that is a room where, you know what, maybe it does need a little bit of a bolster because it's just too top-heavy.
The energy in and around Lambeau Field is getting much bigger as we see more fans, more diverse fans, not just Packers fans, but like every team. I've seen someone in a full Jaguar outfit, like head to toe they were dressed as a Jaguar. We've got Steelers fans, Raiders fans. I've seen a couple Buccaneer fans coming in. You can hear the excitement of the draft as more draft picks slide in, right? We've got the Patriots drafting Craig Woodson, Jack Kaiser, the linebacker from Notre Dame, going to the Jacksonville Jaguars, and Deontay Thornton Jr., the wide receiver from Tennessee, going to the Raiders. My stepdad very excited, sitting here in front of us, Raiders fan. Now,
Raiders.
What have the Green Bay Packers done to catch up to the other teams in the NFC North as they went 1-5 last year? Well, we're not entirely sure, and there's a mixed bag of results on if we believe they've caught up. 800-990-3776 is your way in as the Chicago Bears trade picks to the Buffalo Bills, so the Chicago Bears will not be making a draft pick now. Shedeur Sanders still on the board. We want to hear from you. Are the Packers caught up? Because the Twitter poll results are coming in next. But Pablo needs to tell us a little bit about our friends at Carbliss.
Yeah, low in carbonation, high in flavor, Carbliss handcrafted cocktails, 0 sugar, 0 carbs, 0 gluten, and just 100 calories. That's a beauty right there. Carbliss is made right here in Wisconsin and satisfies any vodka, rum, or tequila cocktail craving. New tropical flavors. I tried this one last night too. Blood orange. That was a zesty flavor. I enjoyed that one. It was a nice way to cap off a long, long day.
I'm a mango guy myself.
I got to try out mango. They've got mango. They've got watermelon. They've got grapefruit. And classics like lime, black raspberry, margarita, and Moscow Mule. You got plenty of options here, especially with summertime coming around. You've got some good flavors. So these are just some of the Carbliss flavors that they have to offer. So make your Carbliss the top pick on your next grocery trip. I know I'm going to be doing that. So find your bliss at drinkcarbliss.com. Carbliss, bliss is more.
Have the Packers done enough to close the gap on the Detroit Lions? We'll be talking about that next on ESPN Wisconsin Draft Day.
We're back after this on ESPN Wisconsin Draft Week, presented by American Family Insurance. The 2015 Wisconsin men's hoops team gave us all a march to remember.
There will be no undefeated champion on Wisconsin with an unbelievable stretch drive to the championship game.
On June 26th, enjoy an intimate celebration with the stars of the run with Made 'em Believe. Presented by M3 Insurance. World-class expertise and individual attention. Tickets are on sale now at uwhoops2015.com. Made 'em Believe, June 26th at the Orpheum Theater in Madison.
Hey, it's ESPN Milwaukee's Jen Latta. You've heard me talk about my community, so you know that local means something to me. And it means something to Great Midwest Bank as well. But what exactly does it mean to be a local bank? GMB understands community because they're part of it. Employees live here, and customers, well, they're just neighbors. Great Midwest Bank offers customized products that others just can't offer. Over 90 years of being a proud part of your community. Great Midwest Bank, simply giving, simply local.
Here's Frank Wazalewski, Vice President of Access.
There are some national factory direct companies that are selling people stair lifts at twice their value. They're breaking within a year, and they can't get service. So now people are paying 3 times what they should have paid from the get-go had they just gone to a local and reputable company. Call us, give us your price from your local contractor. We're going to beat it.
Access, the leaders in ADA general contracting since 1990. Will beat any stair lift quote provided by a local company. Visit allaboutaccess.com. Whether tailgating or hosting at home, don't serve boring, bland food. As the official grill of the Green Bay Packers, Pit Boss brings the heat with a wide range of wood pellet grills, smokers, and hardwood pellet fuel. Reach another level of flavor that can't be achieved with a charcoal or gas grill, and it's beyond easy. Seriously, Pit Boss grills get cooking with just a few simple steps. Grill, smoke, bake, roast, braise, char grill, barbecue, and direct flame sear. The all-in-one Pit Boss does it all. Learn more today at pitboss-grills.com.
My house has a new glow. I love my windows. Universal Windows Direct.
Hey, it's Kyle Wallace. Right now, buy 2 windows, get 2 free. No limit. Pay no interest until 2030, plus $500 off your home improvement project. Restrictions apply. Call 414-410-2000.
I love my windows. They've got that brand new home effect. Universal Windows Direct.
Bev Anderson has a big idea she wants to share.
Bev has been here for 24 years.
Hi, Bev. We're anxious to hear your idea.
Kessler's is 45 years old this year. Monica, remember when your dad used to say in every radio ad, "I'm Richard Kessler, and I want to be your jeweler"?
I never got to hear that.
Yeah, and then Rick would say,
Kessler's Diamonds, inconveniently located on Appleton Avenue, Menominee Falls.
Inconveniently?
Richard said it was inconvenient for people to have to drive all the way to Menominee Falls, so he might as well admit it.
Bev, tell us your idea.
Richard said something else in almost every ad, and I think we should start saying it again because it's really important.
Tell us.
We do diamonds better because diamonds are what we do.
I love that.
Fantastic idea, Bev.
Kessler's Diamonds.
We do diamonds better because diamonds are what we do.
For the location nearest you, visit KesslersDiamonds.com.
Nestled along the shores of Lake Michigan, the Knickerbocker Hotel offers a timeless escape in the heart of Milwaukee. Immerse yourself in the rich history of this iconic landmark where charm meets modern luxury. Picture yourself enjoying breathtaking lake views, luxurious rooms, and dining at one of the finest restaurants in the city. Whether you're visiting for a weekend getaway or a special occasion, the Knickerbocker promises an unforgettable experience. Your perfect stay awaits at the Knickerbocker Hotel. For more information and to book your next stay, visit knickerbockerontheLake.com.
You're listening to ESPN Wisconsin Draft Week, presented by American Family Insurance on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Fans continue to roll in as the energy continues to build here just outside of Lambeau for day 3 of the NFL Draft. Round 4 is underway. I'm Alex Gravatt alongside Pablo Iglesias. This is ESPN Wisconsin Draft Day, brought to you by American Family Insurance. Alex Strofe rolling in as his partner is currently asleep right in front of us, and we're sleeping on the job. But
way to call her out
hey,
like
man,
that.
You know, like everyone's
She's
gotta
sunbathing.
know.
We haven't had sun in like 2 days. Come on, man. We got to enjoy a little bit of that vitamin C or vitamin D, excuse me.
Up above 50 degrees for the first time all day. You're still wrapped in a blanket. I've got my hand warmer. My fingers are doing well. But listen, the Green Bay Packers went wide receiver and an absolute stud in Matthew Golden, mind you. Then they go an absolute mountain of a man, somebody who many people had slated to be a 4th-round pick. They took him in the 2nd. And then they go ahead and they get another wide receiver, which is again, great. I love the dynamic athleticism these guys offer. I love the fact that we are encouraging competition within for playing time. I love that we're building depth. I don't love that we're not necessarily getting closer to the Lions with these moves. And as we look at it, Twitter tends to agree with us. We have tons of votes early on, and the early results are 56% of people say the Packers have gotten closer to winning the NFC North. 43% say no, they have not. Now, I know your fandom lies with a different NFC North team, but as somebody who spends a lot of time in this realm, Pablo, what are you seeing from around the NFC North that makes you feel like the Packers are getting closer or further?
If anything, I think they're inching closer. Like I say that it's a slight gradual improvement. I still need some more convincing on the defensive side. I think it was a huge boom, not just for the fans out here to get to see that first-round wide receiver pick in Matthew Golden, but legitimately a true good pick. That's what helps, move the offense or moves the offense into a better direction. But I just need to see more from the defense. You could hope that the magic wand is the magic wand that where Goody's late-round picks, he's had some home runs with them. I can't guarantee that could happen. Hopefully they do find those diamonds in the rough that I was putting at, but. I'm not overly convinced that I don't know if the Packers can be the team that wins the NFC North. I mean, again, I think they're still a really good team. Hopefully all the pieces just come together now.
On the offseason as a whole, when we look at what they were doing early with free agency, it felt like the Packers were making moves specifically to win within the division, right? You have a guard who's really good in a rushing style offense, someone who can really make space for Josh Jacobs. Nate Hobbs, who can go out and be a dynamic corner in the slot, where you've got Amon-Ra St. Brown, where sometimes you have Justin Jefferson lining up and Roma Dunze for your Chicago Bears. This part of it feels much less like that. I was expecting them to go get some big run stopper. I was expecting them to get, the wide receiver was absolutely the right move, getting Matthew Golden, because you need to have more talent in that wide receiver room and somebody who Jordan Love can rely on consistently. Now, as we look at the back half of their defense at this point, I'm a little bit more worried, and you're totally right that they need to find somebody in the draft to kind of supplement and bolster that space.
Yeah, and that's we'll figure it out for sure. See exactly where the Packers are going to go, where the Bears, where everybody stands in the NFC North. I do want to think about a point too that really it's also going to be where that Jason Wilde had brought up when he was just on was what are the Lions going to do with replacing Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn too with those coordinators? Like what is that going to look like come this year in the division?
I think that's going to be really interesting. It's going to be a whole new fold, and weirdly enough, the Packers, even though you think of them as having all of this change because it feels so recent since I know McCarthy's been gone for 7 years, but it doesn't feel like it's been that long. Aaron Rodgers is gone. We're in a new era of Packers football, but this team still has a lot of consistency in terms of the people who are here, right? There's not been an incredible amount of turnover in the last couple of years, and so that is pretty good. Don in the 262 texts in saying, send that Bears fan back to ESPN Chicago, where the Packer backers. So, Pablo, I'm sorry we're going to have to kick you out. Do you have anything else you'd like to be drinking on your way down?
Yeah, sure. On my way down, I might as well grab myself and stay draft ready with Tequila Mi Campo, made for Wisconsin, made for those who live louder. Just like the excitement of the draft here in Green Bay. Look, even as a Bears fan, I'm enjoying it out here. Mi Campo delivers that same bold energy and anticipation with every sip, made with 100% blue Weber agave and aged in wine barrels for incredibly smooth taste. I love my smooth tequila, man. So please enjoy responsibly. 2025 imported by Mi Campo Spirits, Canandaigua, New York. Tequila, 40% alcohol by volume.
800-990-3776. If you're on your way to the NFL draft, which thousands of people are as they flock past the Tundra Trio where we are live for ESPN Wisconsin Game Day, Draft Day, call us, text us, let us know what you think the Packers need to do early in round 4, 5, because we're going to be getting you ready for those picks as the Eagles pick Ty Robinson, defensive tackle out of Nebraska. That pick went from Carolina to Denver to Philadelphia for that pick. We're going to have more, including a take from Chewy that I'm excited for. Coming up next, it is ESPN Wisconsin Draft Day.
We're back after this on ESPN Wisconsin Draft Week, presented by American Family Insurance.
Oh, can't show you in there.
Why not?
That's the bathroom. We need a new shower bad.
Think your shower is one of the ugliest in Wisconsin? Upload your photo by April 30th to goodkarmabrands.com/Wisconsin contest for a chance to win a free shower remodel. One lucky fan will win a free shower remodel from Kohler Services, including design consultation, demolition, and removal of your existing shower or bath, and installation of a brand new Kohler Luxstone shower. goodkarmabrands.com/Wisconsin contests.
Escape the city and relax at Lake Lawn Resort in beautiful Delavan, Wisconsin. Enjoy outdoor activities on Delavan Lake. Tee off at the lakeside Majestic Oaks Golf Course or unwind at the award-winning Calidora Spa. With both indoor and outdoor pools, there's fun for the whole family. Take a cruise on the Lake Lawn Queen. Explore stunning shores and historic landmarks and enjoy delicious food and drinks on board. Book your stay today at lakelawnresort.com, where everything is better at the lake.
Hey, it's Brad Nortman, and I've got to tell you about my go-to car wash, Tsunami Express. Get your ride looking its best and ride the wave at Tsunami Express Car Wash, Milwaukee's fan favorite for that perfect shine. Sign up for a monthly membership and enjoy unlimited washes for less than $1 a day. Skip the wait with the fast lane and take advantage of great perks. With locations in Midtown Milwaukee, Waukesha, Greenfield, Oak Creek, and Mount Pleasant, Tsunami Express has you covered. Tsunami Express Car Wash. Wash, chill, repeat. Visit TsunamiExpress.com to learn more.
Looking for a totally rad flavor adventure, brochachos? Look no further than Surfer Boy Pizza as seen in Stranger Things. Each mouth-watering variety contains rich tomato sauce, delicious mozzarella cheese, and a gnarly range of toppings. The crust is crispy on the outside and airy on the inside. You'll think it was hand-tossed by the Surfer Boy Pizza dudes themselves. Look for it in the freezer aisle at your local store and buckle up your taste buds with Surfer Boy Pizza.
At Citizens Bank, community banking is you, growing your business with a partner who gets it. It's you, buying your first home with a lender who makes it easy. It's you, building a future with savings that work just as hard as you. And it's us, working together to strengthen our community. Because at Citizens Bank, community banking means you plus us. Visit us at citizensbankwi.bank. Citizens Bank is member FDIC and an equal housing lender.
Who's looking for a better deal? Well, Cousin Sub's $10 meal deals just got better. Available online only. Order your 7.5-inch meal deal today and upgrade it with a large fountain beverage, large fry, regular shake, or regular Wisconsin cheese curds. Prices vary by item from $1 to $2 a piece. Make it better and make it your own way. Now that's a better deal. For further details or to order, go to cousinsubs.com or on the mobile app. Cousin Subs. We believe in better. Available online at participating locations only. Offer subject to change without notice.
Hey, Gina, did you hear about the draft?
Wayne, there's no draft at Pella.
There's definitely a draft. Right, Wildy?
Yeah,
everybody's talking about it.
Pella windows are constructed of the highest quality. No drafts.
Yeah, sure. Okay. No drafts. Got it. There's more than one draft?
No, but Pella should be everyone's number one pick because right now at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, get no interest financing options or free glass upgrades when you order by April 30th. Our talented designers and installers can match your unique home through dramatic sizes, custom colors, finishes, profiles, product types, and more, along with durable and distinguished details. All Pella products stand the test of time, which is why we confidently offer the best wood warranty in the industry.
So where is the draft?
Coon. Get no interest financing options or free glass upgrades at PellaWI.com.
Certain restrictions apply. Ends 4/30/2025. Don't miss a second of ESPN Wisconsin Draft Week, presented by American Family Insurance. Download the brand new ESPN Wisconsin app today and stay on top of it all.
A run of defensive front seven guys as round 4 of the draft here at Lambeau Field continues. I'm Alex Brett alongside Pablo Iglesias. This is ESPN Draft Day live from the shadow of Lambeau Field. The Tundra Trio were across ESPN Wisconsin. 800-990-3776 is the Carbless Talk and text line. That's your way into the show. Let us know what you think the Packers should do with this 4th round pick coming up in just a few moments. The San Francisco 49ers just draft C.J. West. And I think that the Green Bay Packers should be drafting somebody that can make an immediate impact. I want them to get this 4th round front-loaded. I want them to trade up and kind of disregard those 7th round picks, right? Don't get me wrong. They are really good, as you've mentioned, Pablo, at finding guys that can be great role fillers, but I don't think they're going to find a blue-chip guy in round 7. The days of Tom Brady slipping that far.
Oh, those are long gone.
Long gone. Now, Shedeur Sanders, of course, might slip that far as somebody who was originally projected to be a top 5 pick is still available day 3.
Well, if he's taken the wood, we wouldn't consider him. It's like, oh, well, I did see an article though saying on ESPN.com that Sean Payton is saying that, all right, if whoever's sleeping, all the teams that passed up on Shedeur Sanders, you're making a mistake. I mean, well, why not the Broncos take him? But obviously it's because they have Bo Nix, so that would not make much sense. But it's just like I don't think we can consider like whoever takes him is like, oh, they got like, is it the Tom Brady type of pick? Because Shedeur Sanders was one of the best quarterbacks in this draft class.
At this point in the draft, you have to look for somebody you think can still start. There's a lot of guys who you like the promise that they might have, but as the Green Bay Packers and many of these other teams who might need a quarterback should be looking for Shedeur, you need to look for someone who can start, and that's exactly what Chewy said. Here is Mark Chmura from Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, weekdays 7 to 9 across ESPN Milwaukee.
What do you want to see them address now on the clock for day 2?
I would like them to trade up, get a guy who can have an impact this year, someone who they really like, which I'm sure there are a handful of players out there, and then backfill the rest. Look, and I've said it a million times, when you have a good team, right, there's only so many spots going into training camp, right? Bad teams have in the teens, right? Bad teams. Tennessee Titans, who are, obviously had the first pick of the draft and one of the worst teams talent-wise in the league, they got 15 positions open going into training camp. The Packers don't.
So the Packers don't. That was Mark Chmura live on Friday going into round 2 of the NFL draft. Obviously, we're going into day 3, but there are still starting quality players available. And the Packers need to prioritize getting those guys as opposed to getting depth pieces for the offensive line or the linebacking core. I want to see them get somebody who they think can replace Jair Alexander if he's going to be gone. Get somebody who can come in and give Lucas Van Ness a run for his money as a former first-round pick. And Pablo, I see you nodding. You tend to agree with me.
Yeah, and it's what we were talking about with the running back room, too, where it's like, again, you have Josh Jacobs, who's the clear number 1, but it's also you can't guarantee what Marshawn Lloyd and what Emmanuel Wilson are going to do. Can they replicate what they've done? And that's where I kind of come in with the point of, why not look for a running back if you have somebody down the line? And if you're looking at 6th, 7th, and you got some scraps that you got to pick up, you got to figure out exactly what you need to do. So why not? If a good, solid running back, I'm not saying that this guy has to be a starter, but somebody you look at the running back position too. You got to add depth. We know that what the lifeline for some of these guys in their careers, it's like 3 to 4 seasons with a running back. Obviously, I'm not ill-willing Josh Jacobs by any means. He's a dog. He is great. He is electric. That is the number one guy for the Green Bay Packers, but he's not going to be running every single play. He's got to get some breaks sometimes. So again, even though you want to make sure that Marshawn Lloyd is good, you want to make sure that Emmanuel Wilson is good. Marshawn Lloyd last year injured. What does that do for the depth? So hey, why not look for that depth piece? So that's where I see Chewy's point.
You kind of disagree with me almost. You want that depth. You want somebody who can make a difference in play, but at a spot they're already strong.
Yes, why not? Because it's I see it as an insurance policy. I see it as let's look at how the 49ers ended up being last year. You lose Christian McCaffrey. What the heck happens from here? It's awesome to see the former Wisconsin star Isaac Guerrero really shine, but he was like a 6th, 7th rounder last year. I remember texting my friend who's a huge San Francisco 49ers fan. I'm like, you guys got to steal in a day 3 pick in Isaac Guerrero. He's fast, he's slippery, he's elusive. And it turns out he ended up being a big starter towards the end of the season. It didn't really matter in those games, unfortunately, for the 49ers, but it's looking at it from that perspective for the Green Bay Packers. Why not? If you see somebody who is that prime talent, who has a good opportunity to just be that depth piece and more of that insurance policy that could come in and be a difference maker in, a God forbid injury situation, why not do it? Why not do it and add that piece?
We are 8 picks away from Green Bay Packers choosing who they have in round 4. Another running back off the board as Trevor Etienne, running back from Georgia, goes to the Carolina Panthers. And we're about to find out who the Arizona Cardinals pick. The Cardinals pick is in, and we're not talking about the Pope.
Wait, we are going international picks, though. I'm trying to figure out.
Yes,
we had France, the Saints. The Saints had the France pick. I wonder who the Packers are going to have. Are they going to have that the German doppelganger? Do you remember him? I think he was right.
Oh, the Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah,
guy?
the Aaron Rodgers doppelganger.
doppelganger.
Yeah, he was from Germany, I believe.
I hope not. That would be fine.
That would be hilarious, though.
Aaron Rodgers isn't.
You don't want Aaron
anymore.
Rodgers' doppelganger to do it? Would you rather? What if it ended up being Aaron Rodgers that did it out in Germany instead?
Ron Burgundy. I'd rather it be any of the Harry Styles is a big Packer fan.
Caliendo as John Madden was also another one.
That would be great. All right, Cody Simon from Ohio State linebacker goes to the Arizona Cardinals. We got to wrap it up here on the other side. This is ESPN Wisconsin Draft Day, but we are in part presented by Lakeland University.
Yeah, that's right. Draft season is all about big decisions, and your future is no different. Whether you're just getting started or trying to finish your degree, Lakeland University gives you the flexibility to do it your way. Learn more at lakeland.edu/draft.
One of my best friends worked there for years. He loves it. It's a great spot right next to my hometown, Plymouth, Wisconsin. All right, this is ESPN Wisconsin College Draft Day presented by AmFam.
We're back after this on ESPN Wisconsin Draft Week, presented by American Family Insurance. You remember the moments from that magical March.
Decker, it's a 3. Got it!
On June 26th, celebrate the squad with Made 'em Believe, a special night with Bo Ryan, Frank Kaminsky, and Sam Decker.
Here's Kaminsky, the drop step. That's his favorite. And the 2.
Presented by Bud Light, Michelob Ultra, Potosi Varsity Ale, and Potosi Hard Seltzer. Tickets are on sale now at uwhoops2015.com. Made 'em Believe, June 26th at the Orpheum Theater in Madison. Picks are made every year with the NFL Draft as each team dreams fearlessly. Let's rewind for an American Family Insurance Green Bay Dream Pick.
With head coach Matt LaFleur's first season in the books, Green Bay's championship window was wide open. However, on draft night 2020, they found themselves in a situation similar to 2005 and decided to go bold.
With the 26th pick in the 2020 NFL Draft, the Green Bay Packers select Jordan Love, quarterback, Utah State.
Just like Rodgers after Brett Favre, Love would take over as the starting quarterback in his 4th NFL season, earning himself a huge deal as the face of the franchise following a breakout playoff performance.
Love zips it in there, and it's caught for the touchdown, Romeo Doubs. And the route is on in Dallas. Wow.
This Green Bay Dream Pick is presented by American Family Insurance. American Family Insurance is always a great pick because their agents are there to protect your dreams. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Looking to transform your home with stylish furniture and home accessories without breaking the bank? At your local IKEA in Oak Creek, they believe everyone deserves a beautiful and affordable living experience that enhances your everyday life. From comfortable and fashionable sofas and sectionals, to kitchens full of inspiration, to bedrooms designed to help you find your best sleep and relaxation, IKEA's home furnishing combines form and function to fit any lifestyle and budget. Visit IKEA Oak Creek today or explore their collection online at ikea.com/US.
Welcome to the NBA playoffs. The moment we've all been waiting for is here.
The fans now on the edge of their seats.
It's time to stay locked in to every single moment. Because you never know when history will be made. When it's win or go home, every moment matters. So don't miss a thing. NBA playoffs presented by Google continues on ABC, ESPN, TNT, and NBA TV.
For general contest rules, visit ESPNWisconsinContest.com.
Whether you're a local who wants to enjoy a night out or you're planning to visit Milwaukee, enjoy an artfully stylish experience at St. Kate the Arts Hotel, conveniently located in the heart of downtown Milwaukee's Theater District. With deluxe accommodations, culinary creativity, on-site art galleries, and nightly live music, you'll enjoy every element of your stay at St. Kate. For a limited time, enjoy exclusive seasonal rates starting at $139. Learn more and book your stay at stkatearts.com.
Wisconsin is still cattle country, and that's why Bunzel's chose to stay close to home to hand select the finest beef. Quality goes into everything they do, from Bunzel's expansive array of meats, homemade specialty sausages, and their award-winning beef jerky. It just isn't a proper holiday meal without Bunzel's top quality cuts on the dinner table. Tasting is believing. Visit Bunzel's at 90th and Burleigh or bunzels.com.
If only life had a remote control, you could pause or rewind. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. Take the 1-minute risk test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
Don't miss a second of ESPN Wisconsin Draft Week, presented by American Family Insurance. Download the brand new ESPN Wisconsin app today and stay on top of it all.
The pick is in, but not for the Packers. But the fourth round is underway here at the NFL Draft as people continue to flock in. I just saw a ton of Vikings fans come through.
I saw Devin Hester jersey,
I know,
man.
You're all juiced up for that.
Bring it to the house, man. One of the best Super Bowl highlights, and we won't talk about the rest of that Super Bowl and what happened there, but that was a great way to start.
That's Pablo Iglesias. I'm Alex Gravatt. We're getting you ready for round 4 of the NFL Draft. We're recapping what's happened as Matthew Golden is the Packers' first overall pick, but we've got more than just that as they've picked Anthony Belton, NC State's ginormous 6'6", 336-pound tackle in round 2, and Sevion Williams, wide receiver from TCU. Total gadget guy, fun, versatile player so far. What has been the highlight for you so far being here at the Tundra Trio at the NFL Draft?
I just love the creativity around Lambeau Field and just the lore of it. I was curious to know like how this draft experience was going to be. You know, how are they going to put the stage up? And it's cool to see, like I said, usually where it's just a parking lot where fans are just chilling out for game day. That's where the stage is at. And you get to go into the stadium. You get to kick a 30-yard field goal if you want to try it. You can run the 40-yard dash. The Green Bay Packers, and again, the NFL have done a fantastic job of really bringing that Lambeau Field experience to life in a different way. As somebody who's been here for so many different Packers games covering them, this was a brand new experience for me, and I'm in awe. And you know what? I gotta give the flowers. I gotta tip the hat. Cheers to the Green Bay Packers organization for doing this the right way and making this about in the best way, even though it's a Green Bay Packers experience, making this for all football fans.
Listen, if you've got nothing going on today, if you're out and about north of Plymouth, Wisconsin, we'll say, come on up. It's worth it. The community is great. The laughter, the friendship. Everyone is here to have a good time. I have not run into a single toxic fan. You know, every once in a while you go to a game and something's a little over the top. None of it. Everyone is here. Today seems to be a family day. It's fun. Last couple seconds here. Pablo, who do you have in the 4th round for the Green Bay Packers?
I don't know if it's going to be tough for 4th rounder, but you know what? Down the road, go Hunter Wohler. Go Hunter Wohler and take the Wisconsin kid. This is his dream.
The miserable goat agrees with me. It's got to be cornerback. It's an essential coming up next. And coming up next, we've got the Damn Sports Show takeover of ESPN Wisconsin Draft Day here at Lambeau Field.